Oh, hello. It's Tuesday. It's House of the Dragon season, just about. That means it's time for a deep dive from House of R. I'm Joanna Robinson. Joining me today, and if you're watching us on video, flapping her arms like dragon wings, it's Mallory Rubin.
To the gullet on the morrow. Let's go.
Let's go. It's the second, they're calling it a teaser trailer, but it's
just a trailer. Yeah.
I don't know what they're saving the actual designation of trailer for.
I know. Sheesh.
We got a second look at the upcoming season of House of the Dragon. We have a release date.
We do.
We're going to go pretty much frame by frame through this puppy right after this.
This episode of House of R is presented to you by Target. Calling all trainers. Pokemon is celebrating 30 years and the party is at Target.
That's right. Pokemon and Target are launching a limited time collection designed for trainers across every era of fandom.
We're talking over 100 exclusive pieces you won't find anywhere else. Shirts, water bottles, and more.
The first drop appears in stores May 2nd.
And online May 3rd, before the collection evolves with the second drop on June 6th.
Explore now at Target.com. First things first, programming reminders. And here's my favorite thing. When we can accurately tease something that's coming because we already did it.
In the can, in the bank.
Next week.
Yes.
It's the Maul Shadow Lord finale.
Yes.
And we had the voice of Maul himself. Sam Witwer was sitting his butt right here,
right there,
yesterday.
Yes,
and we had a great a really good conversation
so fun. Yeah.
about a bang up finale of a season of television. So that will be going up on Monday night, right after the finale airs.
Yes,
you will get us discussing the finale and the season as a whole, and then our lengthy conversation with Sam Witwer.
What a genuine treat.
What a joy. What a delight, honestly. He was wonderful. Also, we're covering the last two episodes of Daredevil.
That's right. I'll miss the penultimate.
You won't be here this week. Rob Mahoney will be swapping in, doing his best, floundering around, trying to be Mallory Rubin. And
I can't wait to hear Rob's takes on Daredevil. Born Again Season 2.
He just binged it all this last week, and he's such a pro. I told him...
Quite a move during the NBA playoffs. Be like, I'm going to catch up on Daredevil Born Again.
Well, something for me. I told him... that you and he should go head to head on a binge fest because no one binges better than the two of you. But he said he's seen the numbers that you put up and he's too scared to compete. So Rob will be here later in the week for the penultimate episode, but then Mallory will be back for the finale.
That's right.
So next week, Maul finale, Daredevil finale. Will there be a special guest on the Daredevil finale? I don't know. Tune in to find out.
I hope so.
Also, very importantly, it's 40 days until the Vampire Lestat premieres later this summer. 40 days.
I'm happy.
Who's excited? Me. That thing I ordered came. It looks
great.
Oh, really? I'll send you a photo later.
Please do. I can't believe you haven't already sent me a photo. You were too busy just randomly texting me pictures of Harrison Ford today, which I really appreciated.
Because I care about you.
Thank you.
Okay. Spoiler warning.
Yes.
If you've heard us break down a trailer before, it's the same format as usual. The bulk of this pod is spoiler safe. There will be light to no book context throughout as we go. However, if we're watching this trailer and we're like, that looks like a location we've seen before.
Yeah, we'll
say what the location is.
That's why we're breaking down the trailer, folks.
I don't know how we would talk about it if we didn't do the stuff like that. So if we're like, that looks like Harrenhal, that looks like the Red Keep, we're going to say that.
That's presumably why you're here listening to a trailer pod or watching
I should
a trailer
hope
pod,
so.
I would think. Which is exciting.
Maybe they just want to hear your dragon screech, which you will hear. And then at the end, we'll do a book spoiler section.
That's right.
There will be a warning. It's not the scary heart attack inducing warning. We have a different warning sound now. But if you're watching us on video, there will be a graphic. We will give you warnings with our mouths and our words. And then there will be a low, horn sound that will not cause you to crash your car if you're listening to this.
Some feedback on the freeway terror.
Carlos heard it and he adjusted. So we love that. How can folks keep Sam Witwer, Daredevil, House of the Dragon? How can folks keep track? Not to mention Vampire Lestat, 40 days.
Should you commit right now to posting a daily countdown update every day from your Instagram stories?
I don't think that's necessary, but I might top every single pod with a countdown. It's possible. I love a countdown.
You do. Here's what I would recommend. Follow the pod. Follow the pod. Follow House of R on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch full video episodes of House of R. So if you're watching right now, you know that we have new pillows today.
That's very important.
It was a surprise to us. It's a surprise to you.
You can see the
stuff.
shirt that Mallory's wearing. She's come correct with her House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones apparel.
You know, just love every opportunity to break out a Throne shirt. Always fun. Always a treat. You can also, of course, subscribe to the Ringiverse YouTube channel. And you could follow House of R and the Ringiverse on the social media platform if you're choosing. We've got new House of R handles at House of R Pod on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of goodies.
Yeah, we got some great stuff coming up.
Coming your way. So hit follow. Do it now. And then send us your emails.
Yes.
What did you think of this trailer? How many minutes do you think the official trailers will finally be when they drop? Are you excited about the Maul finale, the Daredevil finale? Send us your Nolan thoughts as we continue our Nolan Revisited project heading to the Odyssey. I mean, we have a date now for House of the Dragon. Like Joe said, we're not that far away. Send us your thoughts on season 3. Send us your thoughts on anything and everything. We'd love to hear from you. hobbitsanddragons@gmail.com. Back to you in the studio.
To war then, our opening snapshot.
Love the sound of the swords.
Snicked.
Puts you in the mood.
It's very snickety. We got a new Valyrian steel sword in this trailer. Very exciting. Okay. This is a new quote-unquote teaser 2 months out from the June 21st premiere, which was attached to a sort of CCXP Mexico panel with Fabian Frankel, Matt Smith, and Olivia Cook, which I endeavored to watch via social media clips. They were on 2 different stages. One of them, named the omelet stage. I don't know why.
Oh,
I was able to watch
delicious.
that video in full. And then the other I had to glean through clips. Here is the most important takeaway that I got from the panel is when Olivia Cook said, when asked, all 3 actors were asked, hey, if you were to have your character do something differently, what would you have your character do? And Olivia Cook said, if I could change one thing, I wouldn't have gotten my feet out for Laris Strong.
Well,
that's what she said.
Here to disagree.
Live and learn.
Here to disagree. What a moment that was for the internet.
On the timing front.
Yes.
June 21st.
Yeah.
Opening night of the Mad King stage show in England, which we're definitely flying out to go see.
No, why not?
Is mid-season. We won't be busy at all. Okay, so mid-season is exactly when the Mad King is sort of like opening in previews, and then its official opening night is August 8th, the day before the finale. So that weekend will be like a real Thronesy weekend. Yeah. Mallory's like starting to cry at the suggestion that we're not here.
I'm thinking back to last night when, we got this date. We have both said many times in private, into the microphones, to the public, wouldn't it just be great to get a date and then we could start planning? And Arjuna, incredible colleague, heard us every time we said that, got the date, and then sent us a very long planning update, and we both just panicked. We both just shut down. We were like, we can't engage. Boy, that looks like a really long note about all the things that are happening this summer.
Arjuna,
I'll follow up next week.
You're the best.
He really is an angel.
I just want to check with your overall hype level for the season
after
these. You're welcome. After these teasers that we've gotten, where is your hype for season 3?
Incredibly high, as it has been, for some time. I think we, like many people, had some struggles with the ends of season 2, but we're enthusiasts of the text. We're consumers of the text, and knowing what awaits. I think we've been in like bangers only for season 3 and 4 mode for a while here, anticipating something. The first teaser that dropped, which we already potted about, really ratcheted up the hype, right? That was an encouraging first glimpse of what awaits. And this trailer even more so, I think. And they're interesting companions. The first one was like more action heavy, very gullet heavy. This one is like very theme forward. They've both been really good.
I think they're both very action heavy.
They are, yes, but a little bit like different action. Barely any gullet in this, a glimpse or two. I didn't really need more than the, you click the CC on YouTube, you get the closed captions activated. And this trailer begins with parentheses, wings flapping, parentheses, dragon screeches. And I said, we're back! We're back, baby! I'd also like to just formally thank HBO for not doing the warring trailers thing again this season that they did last season that, drove me crazy. Well, even though it was ample fodder for the pods.
The quote-unquote official trailers have yet to drop.
That's true. God damn it.
You may have cursed us.
It's just really satisfying to intercut between the characters and see these through lines and these parallels that are so delicious to break down over the course of the season right here mashed up in 2-ish minutes. So I thought the trailer was great. I'm excited to dive in, and I'm really, really excited for the season. I feel like just like an uptick in my life of the volume of people who are like, House of the Dragon seems like it's going to be pretty good this season, huh? So
I've kind of given myself over to the hype. I was talking about this before we started recording, where I'm just sort of like, I understand that there's plenty of people who are like kind of out on Hot D, who, I mean, I was telling Jomi before we started recording, I was re-listening to this section of Fire and Blood today when I was driving around in LA traffic forever. And it's just sort of like battle, dragon, another battle, another dragon, battle, 10 guys you've never heard of. Oops, they're dead. Like, that's what this section is.
There's a lot of that, yeah.
But it's very like, even more so than other sections of Fire Blood, it's very skeletal. And so what Ryan Condal and his team have had to do is put a lot of flesh on the bones of the story that George has drawn here. We know for a fact that George has some like issue with that, and that's fine. But like if Ryan Condal and his team of writers and his wonderful directors adapted this section of Fire and Blood word for word, that would be a terrible season of television. And so I'm actually really excited for
But then we would have Mushroom, which would be good.
Perhaps. I don't know that Mushroom is good television. I have some questions about that. But I feel like they've established a lot of the dynamics that are present here in the trailer have been long established, and I'm really excited to see all of that pay off. And so, are people going to be mad? Yeah. Am I going to be mad? Maybe, but mostly I think I'm going to be excited. And like these actors are just so wonderful, and to see like these characters who we love. I know it's been 2 years.
It's been a minute.
It's too long.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to hang out with Damon again. I'm excited to hang out with Rhaenyra again. I'm excited to hang out with even
Kristen
Cole again.
Chris Cole.
This is how thirsty
CR,
I am.
You know CR is hyped to hang out with Chris Cole and Gawain.
Sorry, I didn't put my watch in cinema mode. Like I've like not come around on the character of Kristen Cole, but also Kristen Cole is on his like
character
Dark
on
Knight
an
of the
arc.
Soul redemption-ish arc. We'll see. So
well, we've talked about this many times, and obviously we will again while actually covering the season and seeing, because so much of this is a mystery to us what the adaptive changes will be. Fire and Blood, these competing narratives, like multiple narrators who are saying this is what happened. The accounts differ. Sometimes they don't, but we don't have the definitive text, right? And then it is presented to us as a history book. So all of those variables have always made this really rich and ripe for adaptive choices to give us something that is more rooted in, like, even though we've had various interpretations over the 2 seasons and 4 years, oh my God, 4 years of like what is definitive canon, right? The combination of economy of character and story, because there are plenty of things, to your point a few minutes ago, of like, and then you meet 10 new guys and then they're gone. Like, there's just going to be less of that. Again, actually.
That's terrible television.
Yeah. And then there are other areas where you take something that is 2 paragraphs and turn it into an hour and 10 minutes of television. So there are opportunities to flesh and expand and explore, opportunities to consolidate. If that all stems from an understanding of and appreciation of the characters and what is true to the character and their journeys, great. So I have always had more room with Fire and Blood into House of the Dragon.
We've always talked about this. I agree with you.
For adaptive, like, clarity.
Right. But I also think, I agree with you. And also I think they decided from the beginning that some of the characterization that's there in Fire and Blood, the story told by several different men about these 2 warring women, is they're like, I'm not sure that that's the story we want to tell here, right? And
history will paint you as a villain.
Right. Yeah. So their characterization of Rhaenyra and their characterization of Alicent is different than, in many ways, from the version that we get in the text. And it's fun to like reread or re-listen, and you hear something nasty said about either one of them, and you're like, I wonder how Condal and co are going to say like, okay, but here's what actually happened, So we will talk about all of that. Let's get to the trailer breakdown. It's back.
It's
Mallory
back.
Dragon Screech is back. It's dragon season.
As
Love
terrifying as ever. Sheesh.
So here's what we're going to do in this non-spoiler section is we're going to go sort of chunk by chunk of like line of dialogue. So if a character says something, we're going to talk about all the things we see while that character is talking, essentially. Yes. And in terms of clips, we're bringing back, by very, very popular demand, my demand. The bit we did last time, which is we're going to show you footage of every dragon that we see in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's something we're doing.
It's really just a way to have Chris with us, even when he's not with us. You know?
Thinking of him always. All right, so this first section's 19 seconds. We hear Daemon say, "You now have power no man has ever wielded. You will have an empire unassailable."
Incredible turn of phrase.
Rhaenyra.
Ooh.
And our children will rule it forever and a day. Let's, right off the bat, show me that dragon.
You now have the power no man has ever wielded.
That's Syrax.
Beautiful. Sure is.
Rhaenyra on Syrax. And here's my analysis of this opening shot of this trailer.
Yes.
They're like, we heard you. You're tired of Rhaenyra just sort of banging around Dragonstone, just like kicking around these halls of power.
Mm-hmm.
This season, Rhaenyra's on the move.
Yes. The season 2 through line of Rhaenyra's consternation and frustration with her counselors, the men assembled around her at Dragonstone. Slapping that fucker in the hallway, it felt good. It felt good, I'm sure, for Rhaenyra to do it. It felt good for us to watch it. All of the advisors, even Jace, the constant refrain of, you have to stay put, you can't put yourself in harm's way. And Rhaenyra breaking through that in the end of the season, the final chunk of the season. You know, in the face of something like the response to her having snuck out to see Alicent, right? This really like bold and shocking thing, and to come back and just be lectured, right? How galling, even if it comes from a place certainly for Jace of like wanting to protect her and not wanting to see harm befall her. The decision to fly herself on Syrax to go when they someone claimed sea smoke. She was like, I'm done with this shit. I'm not sitting here any longer. I'm going. Of course, at the beginning of the season, she had gone to try to find Luke, but then it was a minute between that. So to go and have that great stare down with Sea Smoke and then bring Adam into the fold. And then, of course, to fly to Harrenhal, to call out Daemon and then realize that that army was, in fact, hers, that he was, in fact, hers. We ended the season after all of that biding time with action, a note of action and a note of active pursuit for Rhaenyra. And so this felt like such a perfect opening note for this trailer. Like, that's not going to stop now, right?
It is interesting, though, because the final shots of the trailer for Rhaenyra and Alicent was like Alicent feeling free with this open horizon in front of her, and Rhaenyra looking
wearing a cloak,
and Rhaenyra looking like hemmed in by the burden of the circumstances around her. So to see her on Dragonback, as you point out, she took a couple like Ortbows last season, but for the most part, she's been chained to Dragonstone while action's raging around her. So it's fun to see her elsewhere. Speaking of elsewhere. We see Rhaenyra walking down a pillared hallway with a, I would say determined is the word I put down here, look on her face.
Yeah.
That looks like a familiar hallway to me. That looks like the Red Keep. Rhaenyra in the Red Keep, second shot of the trailer.
Certainly not Dragonstone
it's
stone.
Not Dragonstone stone.
We'll see some very clear
Harrenhal
stone
We've seen
elsewhere.
those pillars so many times. Like that's a Red Keep hallway is what I would say.
There's a hue, there's a shape. Yeah.
Next.
Yes.
Show me that dragon.
You will have an empire unassailable, Rhaenyra.
So that we believe is Sheepstealer. And the context clues we have, I mean, it's fairly in the distance. We met Sheepstealer very briefly at the end of last season.
Yes, very, very briefly after intercutting 7,000 times in the finale to Rhaena's pursuit of...
She's having a wander.
Burned, charred bones.
She's on walkabout.
Sure is.
In the Vale. The biggest clue we have here is that looks like the Vale.
Yes.
And the dragon that we have seen in the Vale is Sheepstealer.
Yes.
So even though that is like, we cannot zoom in on talon and wing in order to like really clearly identify.
Yeah.
That is probably Sheepstealer winging around the Vale. Doesn't look like Sheepstealer has a rider on the back there. So, you know. Just questions. We have questions. The show has answers.
I think that even though the kind of moment at the end of season 2 where Rhaena finally found Sheepstealer and approached and looked down, and Sheepy let out this really like ferocious screech. It was kind of.
You want
like,
to do an impression of it?
Yeah, sort of like that. I think
that's pretty good. Also, you really captured the like boniness.
That's exactly like the the kind of like spindly. Thin quality. Sheepstealer, one of the wild dragons from Dragonstone, who now made the journey, the trek up for fresh hunting up in the Vale. So that dragon that we glimpsed there, I think you're right. The geography certainly just pings Vale like foggy, misty mountains. Craggy, for sure. The shape of this dragon, the kind of brown, thin, spindly body feels like sheepy.
Okay.
Great stuff. I'm excited.
And then as, we've been hearing Daemon, Empire Unassailable, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
So the significance of Daemon of all people booing up Rhaenyra. As you mentioned, this is how season 2 ends, with him being like, hey, I'm at Harrenhal. I got all these river bros here with me, and we're for you,
River bros.
Rhaenyra. I've been taking LSD all season, but we are here for you, Rhaenyra. I'm on your team. After a lot of undercutting, it should be me, all this other bullshit, Daemon is now a loyal companion to Rhaenyra. And he says this thing to her, power no man has ever wielded. And that is like a very interesting phrase because like, does he mean no man has ever wielded? Is he talking in a gendered way, right? Like no man, no male has ever wielded versus you, woman. I don't know. Is he saying like no Targaryen has ever wielded? I don't know. Aegon the Conqueror had a lot of power. That's a weird thing to say.
Right.
Or is he talking about Rhaenyra as something above human, something like divine? There's a lot of talk about holy purpose and who the gods have chosen inside of this this trailer. It's very prophecy focused. Rhaenyra buying into her own hype about the prophecy is something we've been really watching. This is a show sort of invention as part of the story. But it seems to me like Daemon is gassing her up to be like, you are the prince that was promised. You are above mere mortals, as the Targaryens like to believe themselves anyway. And you're above even any other Targaryen. Right. You are Targaryen supreme.
Yeah, and for the guy who finally brought himself to say, I am meant to serve you at the end, big moment for our beloved Daemon. It all kind of fits together and makes sense. Well, if she is even above the rest, then like it justifies him saying that out loud finally, right? So there's that, which I like with his character. I think I agree with you. I think it's kind of like little column A, little column B, little column C. It's kind of all of that in the brew. In the first trailer, the one that dropped when was that? Was that like 2 months ago already? I honestly can't remember. Scary. He said, you are the queen of dragons. You have an absolute power within your grasp. So we get a couple of those elements right there. Just like queen, right? That gendered element for sure. But like the idea that he's doing the dragon math all the time, which we know. I mean, he was making the dragon math pitch back in season 1. He's always thinking about that. So like while the Greens have dragons and while other Targaryens over the course of history have had dragons, I think that Daemon is a character who would say, let's run through the tally. Wow. And like really tout that volume and that scale.
The sewing, the red sewing.
And especially because he's like kind of coming back into the fold, right? And even just, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with Rhaena and Sheepstealer, like we said when we covered last season, like that would be a change. That's a change from the text if it goes that way. But it's interesting that we cut from what we think is a glimpse of Sheepstealer into Daemon saying these things. Have they learned something there? Daemon's all up to date on the sewing in general and the swelling of the dragon math in that respect. I think also just like Daemon, fueled by those LSD trips that you mentioned, the werewood visions at Harrenhal, like my dreams, Mr. Season 1, dreams didn't make us kings, dragons did, is now.
And then Alice is like, hold my weird bowl of red goo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now he's like, dreams and dragons made us kings, and we deserve to be kings and queens. And I saw it. Would you like some werewood paste? Like he had this vision, this transformative vision in season 2.
And he's like, do some ayahuasca with me, Rhaenyra.
Exactly. Like putting his hand on that werewood and seeing into the future, seeing the White Walkers and seeing Brynden Rivers and seeing Dany, all of it. Yeah. Like all of it into the future. You know, the world is not what we thought it was. The war is just beginning. Winter is coming with darkness and doom. You sound like my father. I saw it. I saw that we cannot withstand it, and yet somehow we must. So Daemon is just in this different place. And I think like all of that tracks in that respect. The divine element that you noted, like we were both so, I think a lot of people watching the show who are invested in Rhaenyra, which we are, really were concerned when that started ratcheting up in season 2.
Still am.
Still am. Then you have Daemon also coming in with that energy
Yeah.
after having seen this prophecy of the future and their role in this. You also, as we'll talk about as we go, have the other side, Ormond talking this way, Alicent and Kristen
Holy
have
purpose.
always been
Mhm.
just very worrying when every single person in a dragon war thinks
Says,
that their
"I've God on
mission
my
is
side."
divine.
Well, it's God versus gods, right?
Yes.
We have God on our side. We have gods on our side. Like, what is happening here? It's very, very interesting.
Yes,
to me.
and Aemond on the green side is like the dragon gods, and then Alicent and Kristen are like the light of the seven,
Yeah.
right? So it's all, when Rhaenyra was saying to Mysaria in the penultimate of episode of season 2 and episode 7, lucky or somehow ordained, we were like, oh
Yeah.
boy, oh
brother.
boy. And even just the kind of calmer way that Rhaenyra midway through season 2 had shared the prophecy with Jace at last, before we built toward what happened with the sowing and the sanctioning of this godly interpretation via the outcome of actually being able to do this thing that no one had done, to find these riders for the dragons. Even before that, when Rhaenyra was recounting the Aegon's Song of Ice and Fire to Jace, it was like meant to be, right? Like that language ordained to lead the Seven Kingdoms.
Is really interesting about that is like, if you think about Rhaenyra, who has, all of these characters have gone through a fuckload.
Yes.
But like, when you think about what Rhaenyra has lost and the grief that she has come through the other side of, loss of children, et cetera, that is a time when so many people turn to their faith for comfort, for guidance, and for explanation of, how did all of these horrible things happen to me? How can I justify, how can I believe in a just world? And if it's like, hey, this is ordained, this is what has to be. And all of this sacrifice and all of this loss and all of this personal loss is because it is the will of the dragon gods, whatever the case may be. To fulfill this prophecy, you have a great and terrible purpose that you need to fulfill, and it will be worth the sacrifice at the end of the day because you will be the savior of the realm, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So,
and then what won't you justify to yourself if that's how you're seeing the world? And I love that. I love what you're identifying about how that can be a way to cope and understand and process what has already happened to Rhaenyra. And then what does it spin into? Well, what can I do in the future? Anything I want. So like when
anything your heart might recoil from.
Yeah. Indeed. Choice language there coming up soon. But the conversation with Jace was so striking in season 2, episode 7, when he was begging his mother, begging her not to do this thing with the bastards, right? Not to take away from him the one thing that he has been able to latch onto and say,
he's like, I have my
you
hair.
Can't talk your shit. Look what I have.
I have my brown hair, but the curls are popping.
Sarah looks beautiful.
My curl routine. I have my curl routine and my dragon.
Dude, Jace would do phenomenally well in the Instagram Reels TikTok era of like, here's my hair care and skincare routine. Jace would thrive.
I said I wasn't going to use this word. I said this on TikTok, but he's constantly mogging. That's all he does.
He's a mogger.
He's 24/7 mogging.
He's a mogger.
But I'm not using that word. I said I wouldn't. Okay,
I
so
miss
then
like all of this and don't pursue it, but I cannot gainsay that which the gods have laid before me. It's like saying I don't want to do it. It's going to be terrible, but the gods said we have to.
Whew. Daemon then tells Rhaenyra that their children will rule forever and a day as they, they're sitting somewhere outside at night.
Yes.
So listen, couple things going on here. First of all, as you identified, believes he has seen the future, though visions of the future are always just like really dangerous to consider.
Yep.
And he sees Daenerys, but he doesn't see Robert Baratheon. He doesn't see the things that get in the way of the Targaryen dynasty. Yeah. He doesn't see Daenerys' end. He just sees the birth of the dragons. And he just sees like way into the future, there's still Targs and there's still dragons. And that's still something that's happening, right?
Right.
He says that our children, Rhaenyra. Let's remember that Daemon and Rhaenyra have a couple kids still living that pre-exist their marriage.
Yes.
Right? Baela and Rhaena exist.
Yep.
Jace exists.
Yep.
Joffrey exists. You forgot about Joff. I didn't forget about Joff. Joffrey exists, right?
Never.
And then there's like the couple pure Aryan blonde babies that they made together, right?
Yeah.
So
another Aegon and Viserys. Oh, Viserys. Oh, that is a name for a king. Oh, remember that scene? That was incredible. You barely had a face at that point. It was amazing.
I could hear flesh dropping off of you as he said it.
Oh, my tea.
So like,
miss him.
Well, who is he talking about when he says our children? I don't know. When he says forever and a day, that's more superhuman language. That's
Sure
more
is.
just sort of like, that's an impossible amount of time. Again, he's not considering that himbo and his hammer, Robert Baratheon, right? And then we get a shot of Rhaenyra in the map room at Dragonstone looking very like sharply at Jace.
Yeah.
Jace's only
Jace looks
appearance
thrilled.
in the trailer. Here,
Jace looks
so.
thrilled as usual. The sulky faces on Rhaenyra and Jace feel like it feels like it's possible this could be the same sequence that we saw in the first trailer where Rhaenyra
Where
has
he's like Massaria. The fuck?
It's kind of, is he going to say something about Massaria or say something about Alicent? Probably one of those two. I love Jace. The moment where in the first trailer, Rhaenyra tells her counselors about this pact with Alicent, and Jace is just like, you don't trust her. You can't trust her. Feels like this could be that same sequence or exchange based on just the looks on their faces.
Nobody smiles in this trailer until Damon smiles
Everyone looks
covered in blood.
so
And Damon's like,
bummed.
I just got to kill a bunch of people. It was great. That's it.
Damon does look super happy in that moment.
And then later some high towers are like, yes,
That's right.
war.
They are cheering.
Yeah.
They are excited
And the
to be
Winter
at war.
Wolves seem pretty excited to be there.
They love the battle.
It's just everyone excited about war. To war then.
To
for
war
everyone.
then.
Yeah.
And it worked out fine for the person who said that.
It's going to be fine for everyone here.
Yeah, the forever and a day. I mean, you are definitely right. That is like, boy, forever and a day is not allowing for the possibility of defeat. And that is just a dangerous way to go about your life and make decisions. I think that, again, on the dragon math front, when Daemon is thinking about their kids and all of their family members and the ranks that have swollen, he's like, all right, Rhaenyra, you've got Syrax. I have Caraxes. Wonderful. Jace has Vermax. Great. Baela has Moondancer. We're going to talk about Moondancer shortly. Are Rhaena and Sheepstealer a pair at this point? Do they know about it? We genuinely, truly do not know. Probably. We don't know. Hugh has Vermithor. Ulf has Silverwing. Adam has Seasmoke. Joff has Tyraxes.
Mallory's like, I'm not going to let Daemon be the only one doing dragon math.
Aegon has tiny little Stormcloud who was like this big when we saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the Greens? Fuck that. Vhagar, sure. Aemond is happy to boast about Vhagar all the time. Helena, we watched at the end of season 2, Aemond go to Helena and say, can you get on Dreamfire? She's like, nope.
I have bugs to count.
Absolutely. This one stopped singing.
I have weird dreamy prophecies to tell.
Man, the Team Black has way more dragons right now, and Daemon is probably very emboldened.
What's going on, Sunfire?
Long in the dying, so they said in season 2. Tessarion in the first trailer.
The blue dragon. Not in this trailer, but Tessarion is on Team Green.
We'll be talking about that more soon. Team Green, that's a big one in the mix. You know.
I know, sad.
Jeez.
But Vhagar is worth like 4 dragons.
No question.
Okay. We'll get to a lot
or
of
Vhagar. Or 1,000 times the price he paid, as Otto would say.
A lot of Vhagar in this trailer.
There is a ton of Vhagar in this trailer.
The HBO original series returns.
Himbo and his hammer is iconic, by the way. Great work.
Thank you.
Just incredible stuff.
This summer, winter is coming. The HBO original series returns.
This spring, winter is coming. Winter is coming this spring. Remember that?
That's what I was referring to.
Great. This is a wild thing they did. It's crazy.
Our next section, we hear from Corlys, Hand of the Queen, who says, all that remains is for you to decide what you want from this war.
Yeah.
Show me those dragons.
Yes.
All that remains.
We're pausing here for a second.
Uh-huh.
That's Vermax for sure.
Yeah.
Jace on Vermax. And per things we saw in the previous trailer, we're pretty sure that is also Baela on Moondancer.
Yes. I think the combination of Moondancer clearly at Gullet in this stretch in the first trailer. Battle of Gullet.
Seafaring battle.
To the Morrow. Mm-hmm. And also that definitely looks like Moondancer's. I mean, it's smoky, so it's a little harder to make out the markings. That looks like Moondancer's tail for sure, and like the kind of spiky head pattern. So yes, I think that's Jace and Baela, Vermax and Moondancer. Together.
So far, Syrax, we are,
and Baela and
mere
Moondancer
seconds into the trailers.
At Gullet is a change.
Yes,
so this is exciting.
That's why we're asking the question. Vermax we know is there.
Yes,
Moondancer is like, oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So mere seconds in, we have Syrax, Sheepstealer, Moondancer, Vermax.
Yes.
Doing pretty
And then
good.
pretty soon Vhagar is going to be like, eat shit every other dragon.
Get the fuck out of the way.
It's my time to shine.
All right. the sea snakes, Rhaenyra's navy looks on as Jason, we believe Bela, wing their way through the fog on the water. Corlys is saying this to Daemon. I thought it was Rhaenyra at first because Daemon's hair is amazing.
It's beautiful.
He's discovered like
Beautiful.
the topsy tail or something like that. I don't know. There's just this like resplendent spiral of blonde. It's not
Looks
even a
great.
braid. It's just like a swirl. It's like a frosty essentially, like on the back of his head.
And then he has like this action on the side too, which
Yeah.
is very nice. Yeah. Will you rock that haircut during season 3? You could pull that off for sure.
We'll
No
see.
question.
We'll see.
I think
I'll watch
that's
some
a
tutorials.
yes.
All right. These are the second sons reunited. Not like they've never talked before, but we made a lot about this in the first season. The second sons, Corlys and Daemon. This is something that they said in season 1, episode 2.
Yes.
Corlys to Daemon. Waiting in the stepstones is a chance for you to prove your worth to any who might yet doubt it. We are the realm's second sons, Daemon. Our worth is not given. It must be made. So Corlys in this sequence, when he's talking to Daemon and saying, all that remains is for you to decide what you want from this war. There's a couple options of what's going on here. Corlys, we know, has already suffered great loss.
Yeah.
Rhaenys, we miss you. Laenor, also a bummer.
Yeah.
Seemingly
Laena.
not alive anymore. Laena,
Yeah.
you know, a woman's, the childbirth bed is their battlefield, as we will be reminded of again in this trailer.
We got some weird Harrenhal, Werewood, Lena glimpses last season. That was fun.
So
That was
Corlys
nice.
has lost a lot, obviously.
Yep. Luke, don't forget Luke.
Sure.
Briefly his heir.
More to the time.
I don't want it.
So is he saying, hey man, when is enough enough? Or is this more of that second son sort of like in that exchange in season 1, episode 2, when they're talking about this, when Corlys is like, let's go to Stepstones, man. He's talking about how they can make a name for themselves. He's talked about how he built his riches himself. They didn't have to, he didn't inherit his fortune. He made his fortune. The second sons have to make their name, make their reputation.
Right.
So is that what this war is doing for Daemon? Is it about Daemon making his reputation, making, as not the king, Rhaenyra is the queen, right? King consort or whatever.
Yep.
Not his brother's chosen heir, all this other stuff. Or, you know, or is it a question they constantly ask themselves since this war began, which is like, where does it stop?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
do we call it a day? What do you think? Where do you think about this?
So, you know, it was interesting. I think we both loved that exchange that you pulled out, in part because Corlys is not literally a second son like Daemon is, and he was leaning into what it means to be a
Yes,
self-made
right.
man and find that common cause with him. And they were united at the time by so many shared resentments, right?
Mhm.
Like, you know,
Viserys.
despising Otto, both of
Mhm.
them. Feeling very angry with Viserys for in different ways and different reasons, not choosing them for the
Mhm.
thing that they wanted to be chosen for. They wanted their families to be chosen for. They have a common foe again now to kind of unite them in that way, the Greens. I think that Corlys's journey on the history doesn't, you know, remember blood, it remembers names, and that ceaseless pursuit of legacy and all of the conversations that he and Rhaenys had about that over the course of those losses that you outlined. The moment when he presented the new ship to Rhaenyra at the end of season 2 and it's like, you know, told us that it was renamed. It was the sea stake had been a testament to, a monument to his achievement and really to his ambition.
Mhm.
And that this was a way to say, not only to everyone else, but to himself, like, I need to think about things a little bit differently. Well, you know, Gullet, I think part of the reason, there are plenty of other battles and key set pieces that we're glimpsing in this trailer that we're not talking about quite as freely. I think in part because the showrunners and the people involved in making this show have just said, in part due to the lament around how season 2 ended, don't worry, we're starting with Gullet. They're just putting it out
The
there.
Battle of the Gullet, which is the seafaring battle, is going to open this season.
Exactly.
Right.
So we can speak about that very freely. It's been heavily featured in the
Fairly freely.
fairly freely. When 4 scenes of the season 2 finale were devoted to Thailand going to recruit the Triarchy.
Mhm.
Still crazy that happened.
Mhm.
Genuinely nuts. You know, we were reminded of certain key things. There was an alliance that had to be forged and an agreement that had to be made.
Mhm.
But part of it wasn't just the mud wrestling, right? And I want you to fucking impregnate my wives. It was like, Corlys Velaryon? yeah, we'd love to go fuck that guy up. The history at the Stepstones. Also, we should remember, like, the Triarchy has agreed to go sail to the Gullet, where that blockade has been. We have Corlys, we have Alan. Yes, choking, exactly. We have Corlys and Alan getting back on the ship. Like, we've known from the end of season 2 the forces that are about to converge here, and they have a history with each other. And so the fact that, like, Corlys will be facing an enemy who recalls for him very naturally, like, those prior impulses and tendencies is such an interesting place to start.
Fun.
What else can we say here outside of spoiler section? I'd say probably nothing.
Daemon and Rhaenyra walking down some steps at Dragonstone. Rhaenyra has a sword on her belt. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the spoiler section, but I think it's worth noting that, like, Rhaenyra with a, this has been an ongoing thing of like Rhaenyra practicing with a sword. Yes. Again, it feeds back into this sort of like, you can't go fight the battles. You are the queen who needs to be here and to strategize and to be protected. So seeing her on Syrax, seeing her walking with purpose with a sword on her hip, is a different mode of Rhaenyra.
No question. That exchange with Mysaria in season 2, episode 5, war has ever been for men to make. You are your father's chosen successor. He did not prepare me to fight. And we can think back. It's like, yeah, Rhaenyra was like, let me fly to Dragonstone. And Viserys said no. And then she fucking did it anyway because she's awesome, right? But that wasn't what he wanted.
Right.
If I had been a son, a sword thrust into my hand the moment I could walk. Instead, I was given my father's cup. Taught the name of every lord and castle between Storm's End and the Twins. Very valuable, by the way, as we have noted repeatedly, to be a cupbearer. But not the difference between hilt and foible.
She didn't really learn that lesson very well.
I know, she wasn't really, it was not super focused.
No. Remember when she went on her like betrothal tour and she's just sort of like making enemies around the Seven Kingdoms?
Sure do. That was wild.
Rhaenyra.
And then like when, she said to Jace in the following episode 6, they must see in me a ruler, and the symbols of authority are not jewels and gowns, but the shield and the sword. We've talked a lot, and we will again today, about how the other side is coated, drenched in the symbols of authority.
We're about to see Blackfire, the sword. We've got the throne. All of that. She has her father's crown, which she is holding at the very end of this trailer, and that is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the Conqueror's crown, the Conqueror's sword, throne, et cetera, blah, blah. Okay. Then we pivot away from Team Black to our babe Alicent, who says you will do things that your heart would have recoiled from before you came to the throne. We'll talk about who we think she's talking to in a bit. First, we see shrouded, hooded figures traveling in the mist and the dark. I think it's probably Alicent and Helena. That would be my guess. Maybe it's deceptive editing because we then cut to Alicent in a sort of fur-lined hood. And so the implication of the editing is like she's one of those shrouded figures.
Right.
That feels like a bit of editing misdirect, but I do think it's Alicent and Helena. And we talked about this in the last trailer. So it's just worth reminding that season 2 ends with Alicent and Rhaenyra making this bargain, right?
Yes.
Alicent's like, Rhaenyra, you can kill Aegon. His dick doesn't even work anymore. I don't need him. You can kill him, right? She's like,
tough.
But here's what I want. My daughter and her safety, right?
Yeah.
No, I do not wish to rule. I wish to live, to be free of all this endless plotting and striving. The crown will pursue war and victory at any cost. But as for me, I would take my daughter and her child and leave it all behind.
Right.
So is this Alicent and Rhaenyra, Alicent and Helena trying to get out of the city because, as we discussed in the last trailer breakdown, she cannot uphold this bargain to Rhaenyra because Aegon, get the fuck out of Dodge. So she can't even give her firstborn son.
Pretty rough.
Hail, hail, Aegon the Conqueror, babe. Cannot
second of his name.
Give him to Rhaenyra because he ain't there.
So brutal to do the little half head nod concession, like, okay, I'll let you kill my son, and then not actually be able to follow through, but have to know for the rest of your life that you agreed to that. Like, that's a wild place to find this character.
That's like that's like the book Helena Blood and Cheese move.
I mean,
right?
yeah, it's this is a through line for these figures. I think that the fur lining around the hood, because we have another Alicent outfit that we'll get to shortly that is it is different from the season 2 finale cloak, but was so similar that I was zooming in to look at the pattern of the embroidery. This is very clearly, in a way I appreciated, different moment in time. We're dressed for what might be cold weather. We're wobbling on a horse. We're on the move. We're on the move. So I think that your interpretation is a reasonable one, certainly. The question
Do you agree with my
of-
assessment that the fur-lined cloak is the cottagecore version of a murder cloak?
Yeah, should we add it to our studio? Cottagecore murder cloak is like kind of our vibe,
Yeah.
don't you think?
I love that for us.
Me too.
Put it
Kind
on
of
the
our vibe.
Put it on the merch.
Cottagecore murder
I saw
cloak.
so
Working
many
title.
memes of this shot of Allison in the fur-lined cloak that were all like Yellow Jackets themes. People were like, it's Lottie Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone's like, the wilderness made her gay. And someone was like, that happened to my friend Jackie Taylor. It was so funny. It's really funny.
Oh man, that's a great. Geez, Yellow Jackets. Sheesh. Wow.
When's that coming back? Good question.
When is that coming back? Is that this year?
I don't know.
Boy. Huh.
I don't want to think about it. That's like the version of the block of text we got from Arjuna. I was like,
Truly.
I don't want to think about it. Okay.
The pact that Alicent and Rhaenyra made, a sequence that we love. That's like a 10-minute conversation. We were both like moved to tears on the podcast talking about it.
Was it worth all the triarchy stuff we got in the finale for that sequence?
It's a bold declaration.
It
But
might
you're
be a
welcome
wash.
to make it. You know, we're doing dragon math, so why not triarchy math? You know, it's too late, Alicent. You said it yourself. Blood has been shed, cities burned, armies march, and you wish to wash your hands of what you yourself set in motion. Then they argue a little bit about like, oh, the gall, the balls to say I set it in motion. What about you, etc. You know, sin begets sin, right?
Yeah.
This great theme across the
Real girlhood stuff. Real Yellow Jacket shit, honestly.
It truly is. So they made this deal. They shared this moment, but the question of like, we were both so moved by, even for a second, rekindling that the fact that that affection for each other allowed them to rekindle like a shared pursuit. But I think we have to carry with that like the question of how sturdy that foundation is, right? And Alicent saying, "You let me go to do what I promised. You fly to the Red Keep in 3 days' time, 2 years, and you take your throne." Or you take me for a liar. I have neither weapon nor armor. My life itself is forfeit. I cast myself on the mercy of a friend who once loved me. And then that's when Rhaenyra replies with the history will paint you a villain, a cold queen, grasping for power and then defeat. And Alicent says, let them think what they must. I am at last myself with no ambition greater than to walk where I please and to breathe the open air, to die unremarked upon and unnoticed and be free. But what does she care about?
Big bathtub.
Big bathtub? Bigger bathtub. Went out to a fucking lake.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's a big bathtub.
The casting out of the handmaidens, like, I'm just going to scrub myself in the bathtub and then, like, fuck it.
I'm going to the lake.
Let's go out into the open water and, like, look up at a hawk. Wonderful stuff. But the ability to keep Helena safe is a primary objective. And Jaehaera.
And baths.
And baths.
Yeah.
And honestly, who among us? Do you think
In what
Alicent
order?
listens to the watch in the bath like I do?
Oh, I don't know. Good question. All right. Next is one of the coolest shots of the trailer. Really cool shot of someone in like a cloak or a coat or whatever, trailing bloody footprints on a stone floor.
Yep.
We'll talk about that more in the spoiler section.
I do think we can just say here, this person seems to be wearing Team Black colors.
Aemon wears black. I don't think
Not
black
the
is
cloak, though.
I don't
And
think the black
boots, sure.
I don't think the black is exclusive to Team Black. I don't think you can say that.
I feel like this is a Team Black outfit.
I disagree only because at first I thought it was Aemon and now I'm not so sure, but at first I did and I went and I looked at his boots.
Yeah. The boots for sure are black. But the cloak? Black
A
cloak?
coat? Anyway,
Okay.
we'll talk
And
about
I
it
would
more
say
later.
this does not seem to me to be a masculine gait.
We know who we think it is. Our guesses are informed by that. All right. Alicent is talking to someone as we discussed.
Yes.
She could be talking to Aemon, right? Who we've seen on the throne in multiple trailers. You will do things that your heart would have recoiled from before you came to the throne. We have seen Aemon literally on the throne.
Yes.
But I'm not sure I can imagine Aemon's heart recoiling from anything pre-throne or post-Vagar when he sort of like
Yeah.
walled up his heart to the world.
Hmm.
I don't know that his heart recoils from much. This is also a different dress than the velvet one she had on while she was talking to him in the last trailer. Much bluer, like her cloak. She's trending blue, which we talked about at the end of last season.
Yeah.
Less team green, more back to the blues that she favored when she was
Right.
not groomed by her father to seduce the king. Okay. And wear her dead mother's clothing. Cool. All right.
Super chill, normal thing.
She's
that
got
Otto
her
Hightower
version
did.
of a crucifix necklace back on, right?
Yeah.
The 7-pointed stars back on.
Yeah.
I think she's talking to Rhaenyra. I think this is a Rhaenyra conversation.
It's interesting because she's like just in a room having a conversation. Like she doesn't seem to be. She's not in a cell. Doesn't seem to be like in kind of like the perilous circumstance we'll see her in another shot that we'll talk about shortly. I think that the Aemond possibility, I think I agree. The Aemond possibility, the emotion that kind of was starting to breach the dam a little bit in the conversation that Alicent, Helena, and Aemond had, and then Aemond and Helena, their follow-up conversation. It is no longer our rule that is threatened, Aemond said, but our very lives. Would you not have us prevail? And she said, not like this. So could it possibly be a continuation of that? The way that she has challenged him over the course of the series, like, have you not fully avenged the indignities of your childhood? Like, it could perhaps be born out of that same through line. The challenge that she issued to him about his pursuit of Helena, now you seek to corrupt your sister of all our line, the gentlest and most deserving. Maybe it's a continuation of that, or maybe it's not Aemond and it's the other candidate.
This quote from Alicent ends over Rhaenyra's troubled face looking at the camera and then at a fire where a skull is burning. Real normal stuff. Not the last skull shot in this trailer.
No, it's not.
We can talk about that in the spoiler section, who we think that might be, but that's just a weird thing to see on a Tuesday. All right. Next.
Yeah.
Ormond Hightower says, in two clips that have been edited together, the Targaryens are a savage race. And then elsewhere, we act with holy purpose to restore a rightful king. This is James Norton, a.k.a. the hot vicar who solves crimes. Grantchester fans, who you are. Ormond Hightower himself, surrounded by Team Green troops, he moses his way towards the camera on horseback. This is Alicent's cousin and second cousin, right? That's how that works, to Aegon.
I've never known the second cousin or cousin once
He's
removed
Alicent's
thing.
cousin.
He's Otto's nephew. That's what I'm going with.
So he, like, the king is
Yes.
also his cousin.
Yes.
And he's also head of House Hightower.
Let me tell you something. It's working for me.
He's so your type.
It is working for me, folks.
So the first we're hearing from him, because we saw him in a previous trailer, but this is the first we're hearing from him. The first we're hearing from him, he's slandering the Targaryen, quote unquote, race, while also talking about putting a Targaryen back on the throne. Interesting. And I thought it was interesting to hear the Targaryens are a savage race. Did it make you think of Raymond Fossaway?
Of course.
They're incestuous aliens, Duncan.
Of course.
Blood magicers and tyrants burned our lands, enslaved our people, dragged us into their wars without a mote of respect for our history or our customs. Every pale-haired brat they saddled on us has been madder than the last God knows how. The only honorable thing a Targaryen can do for this realm is finish on his wife's tits. So I think he meant to kill the fucking horse. Targaryen racism back in season, baby. Did it ever go out of style? I don't know.
Not on Thrones. We chronicled at length how astonishing it was for Raymond to say those things.
It's even wilder for Ormond to say.
This is
bonkers. The way these things
gobsmacking.
The way these things are edited together, and I saw this observation, I think, on Twitter or something like that. I think if you listen to the line, it's like definitely him talking in two different places. We see the second part, the holy purpose, is him speechifying in front of the troops.
Yes.
The other one sounds like it might have been in like closer quarters or something.
Which makes sense because you would not say a thing like this in front of many.
Right. So he's
people.
like, Targaryens are a savage race. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But also we look to put a Targ back on the throne because it's good for House Hightower.
Yeah. And so like I think that the idea that the Hightowers are seeking a level of power and control and authority and might is nothing new, right? That's where we've been since
Otto.
Day one. Yeah. Hobart, certainly. Otto, obviously, kind of incepting and manipulating Alicent into that. Daeron Targaryen is Ormond Hightower's ward.
Do you want to remind people who
he's the missing they're hiding a child.
They're hiding a child. Alicent has another child, Daeron.
Yeah.
And he's been the ward of House Hightower. He's been back in Old Town, right?
We got you may recall that every time there was even a kernel about Daeron in season 2, we both lost our shit and Chris was like,
Who the fuck are you talking about?
Literally, what is wrong with you guys and who are you talking about?
Right.
We saw Tessarion, the Blue Queen, Darren's dragon, finally like flying at the end of the season. Tessarion was mentioned earlier, like, oh, Prince Darren's dragon has taken flight. It's like, Darren is Jace's milk brother. Tessarion has taken flight. Come on. But this was the choice the show made, and so they had to kind of like drop these nuggets, these breadcrumbs that Darren was coming. Most notably, though, we had this really lovely conversation between Alicent and Gawain, where Alicent, who is just despondent to find her other sons, Aegon and Aemond, in these places doing these things, was like,
she's like, they suck, huh? And he's like,
is my other kid okay?
And he's like, yeah,
So
the one you didn't raise. The one you didn't raise.
That was tough. That was tough.
The one of the questions they asked at the Mexican Comic-Con of Matt Smith, Fabian Frankel, and Olivia Cook was like, which one of you would make the best parent? And Olivia's like, not Alicent. I'll tell you that. Like, they all picked David, actually, because they're just like, it's not Kristen and it's not, of the three of them, they could only pick themselves.
Okay, well, slim pickings then, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think Rhaena might chime in and be like, Dad still hasn't talked to me.
It's tough.
He's spending all his time with Bela.
It's very tough, but I think Olivia Cook was very insistent. Keep Alicent away from your children.
Yeah. It's a decent read, I think.
Darren Hightower, Targaryen, Tower, who was raised elsewhere,
thriving,
doing fine,
thriving. So it's just the fact that Darren is his ward and is a key part of the stretch of the story, despite not yet having been featured in the trailer.
They're savage race.
Well, it's
not just that. Like, it's not just Darren. It's like he's like, our holy purpose.
Yeah, is to get this guy back on
to restore a rightful king. The rightful king he's talking about is Aegon.
Yes.
One of the aforementioned savage race.
Yeah.
So hypocrisy abounds. Green velvet, resplendent.
Oh, it looks great.
Hypocrisy abounds.
It looks
from
great.
Ormond Hightower right off the bat.
I wonder if we'll learn like how much of this is how Ormond has always felt about the Targs, and the fact that these alliances were necessary ways to get even closer to the throne that they seek.
Mm-hmm.
How much of it is like, Aegon gave Otto the boot and made Kristen fucking Cole his hand, which is nuts and not a thing that we should forget happened. We got to see Gawain show up and be like, I was like on the road for a long time and I'm finally here and my dad is gone and you're the fucking hand. What happened? I have to imagine that Ormond has his version of that. I also just want to know.
I would love to read those like, Ken Burns Civil War documentary letters from Gawain back to Ormond where he's like, my dearest Ormond.
Well, the
battle rages on. All of my green suede boots are caked in mud. The blood, the guts. I mean, he's not having a good time, Gawain, in this trailer.
Gawain is really going through it. Really going through it. I miss seeing Otto always writing, always sealing a letter. Where is Otto Hightower? We genuinely have no fucking idea.
Don't know.
We still don't know. The other person, though, who used to talk this way about the Targaryens, which was on my mind hearing this, was Alicent.
Correct.
Like you Targaryens and your queer customs.
And your dragon orgy murals.
Ribbing of Rhaenyra. Yeah, stripping all of the Targaryen heraldry from the Red Keep.
Out of...
We stand for the dragon orgy murals. We always have, and we always will.
Anti the arts is what it seems like to
anti
me.
A good time and anti the arts. And, the things that she used to say to Aemond, like your obsession with those beasts goes beyond understanding. And it's part of why Aemond, we've got a lot of notes, but it's part of why, like when he goes to Helena at the end and makes his pitch, it's like, Mom doesn't get it. So this is a Hightowers, they all kind of go about it in different ways, but it is the great through line. Also just want to say, it's obvious if you've watched the trailer, but we should note, the Hightower army is fucking huge, and that's important. We heard throughout season 2, they're on the march, they're making their way from the old town, they're on the march, took further, they're just like marching. Well, they've got a lot of people.
Here's what I wouldn't do, though. I would not reread the book and then try to compare the numbers that are on the page to the numbers we see on the screen, because I was like revisiting how many winter wolves there are about to be, and I was like, that's not what we're seeing. Okay, but next, I think what we're seeing, we see some slightly scraggly looking people, I would say, come out of the tree line into to treat with Daemon.
Yes.
So I believe this is the Winter Wolves, the Stark forces, showing up, rolling up on Team Black. We see Tully troops, Tully shields all around Daemon. This is like the Riverland army that he has amassed.
Yeah.
We see Daemon at the front of this group facing the people who are coming out of the tree line. There's like a tiny little Daemon there. And in the background, Caraxes, right? So show me that dragon.
Oh, the savage race.
We act.
He looks so happy.
Looks
and
thrilled.
I choose to believe that the reason Daemon looks so happy is he's like, the Starks are here.
I mean, who wouldn't be thrilled to see the Winter Wolves arrive? You definitely can see, because we're kind of looking at the back of their heads there. So much like if you look at the back of my head, you're like, it's a lot of gray hair. A lot of gray hair. Or if you look at the side of my head or the top of my head, a lot of gray hair. You can see, the gray beards. Here they are. I'm thrilled.
The Winter Wolves. All right. On the word savage, we get that shot of a blood-spattered Daemon, finally a smile. He loves to kill.
Yeah.
And also the Winter Wolves might be here.
I can't wait. I cannot wait for Roddy the Ruin. I cannot wait for Roddy the Ruin.
Not in this trailer for some reason, but Tommy Flanagan, we await your arrival. I have a note on that in the spoiler section. All right, we go back to Ormond. This time he's actually speechifying, looking resplendent, I might add, in the green velvet. Valyrian steel sword, dick a-swinging.
Vigilance is a great name for a Valyrian steel sword.
Vigilance is the name of the high tower Valyrian steel sword. And he says, this holy purpose, very Allison-coded language. Also, we're about to see an image. Let's just go ahead and look at this image for a second.
This holy purpose.
To the left of...
You've updated this from the screenshot you put in the doc, where instead of Darren, it said LOL.
Carlos decided to editorialize the LOL out of it. Okay, so if you're watching this podcast, we see James Norton, again, resplendent in green velvet. The high tower drip, always fantastic.
The fit looks great.
Giant Valyrian steel sword dick in front of him.
And to your point from earlier, he's got some black on, Yeah. There you go.
To the left of him.
Yes.
That is our guy Brasso from Andor.
Let's go back to Ferrex right now.
Joplin Citane? I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his last name. He's playing a character called Bold John Roxton. We can talk about that in the spoiler section a little bit. He's got some fun stuff to do. And then to the right of Ormond Hightower is someone in a sort of green livery. And we think this is probably the long-lost child, Darren Targaryen, but they have hilariously hidden him in this trailer behind a lady. So if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify or wherever, this is the visual. We believe that is Darren here in the trailer. You can see
has to be
a little bit of nose and mouth and forehead if you squint. So yeah.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
That's got to be Darren. It has to be. This is just wild. We're like, is that Darren's elbow and shoulder at this point? I have to assume it is. I can't wait for Darren to be a full character in the story because we've been waiting a minute. Also, just to note, because Bold John Roxton is here and Ormond is here, we have 2 Valyrian steel swords in this photo. We also have Orphan Maker, also a sick fucking name.
That might be
for a
one of the sickest
that's
name for a Valyrian steel sword.
It's so
good. It's a tall boy too, slung over his shoulder like a backpack. All right. On the word restore from Ormond, we go to King Aegon.
Boy.
In all his melted face glory.
Looking rough.
But on the word rightful king, we cut to Aemond on the throne.
Yes.
He's got the Conqueror's sword, his father's sword, his brother's sword, Blackfire, very prominent here. Very similar to Viserys in season 1, would always like hold Blackfire just sort of like front and center when he would sit on the throne. He didn't have a dragon anymore.
No.
But he had that ancestral sword and he would just sort of like wield it, especially when he was like arguing with Daemon. He would just be like, have you seen my sword? Yeah, you got Dark Sister, but I got Blackfire. So what the fuck, right?
Then he would cut his finger and then he would use Blackfire as a walking stick. Tough.
So we see Blackfire put to different use later in this trailer. But here Aemond is sitting just the way his father used to on the throne with Blackfire front and center. And here's that quote we were paraphrasing earlier about Aegon, right?
Yes.
Aegon in season 1, Aegon Targaryen sits the Iron Throne. He wears the Conqueror's crown, wields the Conqueror's sword, has the Conqueror's name. He was anointed by a septon of the faith before the eyes of thousands. Every symbol of legitimacy belongs to him. So Aegon, as we just see in this trailer, and we'll see him talking to Larys, dragonless, crownless, swordless, throneless, dickless,
sausage on a spit,
wandering the countryside. Okay?
Yeah.
Aemond, location. He's got the throne. He's got the sword. Just saying. Who's king? Who's the real king?
Let me make a counter observation.
I mean, neither of them are the king, is what I think. I'm Team Rhaenyra, but I'm just.
You are?
Yes. Shut up.
The Larys pitch, and like you said, we'll see Larys in a minute. We don't see him in this first shot of Melty Flesh Aegon. But we see other people around Aegon. And we had seen in the first trailer Aegon in like a little skirmish where he was stabbing somebody. So like it seems like shit's going to go awry for them. But the pitch from Larys was, let's bide our time. It was very much the like Cersei, let them all fight each other and then I'll be here at the end, right? Let your brother and the Pretender destroy themselves in blood and bitterness. When they are spent and their armies are in tatters, we will return and the people will rise up to meet us. So he's got nothing. He had to run in the like night in a little like, that wagon was full of like chickens or something.
It wasn't Aegon's sheep wagon from Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but it was a chicken wagon.
It's not where you want to be if you're Aegon.
I'd rather a chicken wagon than a sheep wagon. I mean, the sheep were just milling about in the sheep wagon. Their shit is all over the floor. The chickens were at least like in little cages.
Give me Roz's turnip card any day.
I didn't say you could pick turnips. I said chicken or sheep.
God damn it, I had to try. Aemond has all those things. And yet he is completely alone. He begged Helena to go with him. She said, fuck off. She dunked on him with her vision. He can't actually find...
dunked on him with her vision.
He can't actually find anybody who is willing to stand by his side. And he has already sent Kristen Cole on the march. So yeah, he's like, I get to sit in the Iron Throne. I'm not saying
things are going great for Aemond.
Of course not. But like, he is in a tough spot.
Listen, Mallory, I don't know that I can agree with you because there's one person who's always standing by Aemond's side, and
it's Vhagar.
It's Vhagar.
That hoary old bitch.
And she is quite prominent in this trailer doing a lot of things. So I think, to be a Targaryen alone in the world, he's not one because he's got the biggest dragon.
Well, but the question
she's a
of
cool
like,
lady.
What does that mean to have the actual, and Aemond is a character who's always like to boast about that stuff, right? Like in the infamous season 1, episode 9, when he and Kristen were wearing their little disguises and Kristen had his dumb little hat on and he's like, it is I who should be king, right? He's like, I have the dragon, I study the histories, and like this fucker, he doesn't take any of it seriously. He's always kind of like boasted about that part of it. Then of course he's like, they made fun of me, they were mean to me. Then in a tender, vulnerable moment, he'll throw back some mother's milk and then say like, I do regret that business about Luke, but he always has to like peacock. He does have all of the actual strength and the position. If he doesn't have
Daemon's look.
He sure does have Daemon's look. If he doesn't, I mean, even like you've pointed out before, when the very deliberate framing, like, our earliest impressions of Daemon sitting alone in that chair and like the gods be good, glimpse of him. If you don't have anybody actually to stand by your side, what does that mean? Is certainly an interesting thing for the story to explore. Not that Aegon is in a great spot either. And like you said, everybody, the only person we see smile is fucking Daemon and the cheering soldiers. Everyone's in the
bad mood this season.
Everyone's in the shit.
Aegon says, I'm going to kill my brother or die in the attempt. He's talking real close to my best friend Larys Strong in the middle of a forest somewhere. He's got a little grudge against Aemon for, melting his face, bursting his cock. And Larys did kill his brother.
That's right.
They have so much to talk about.
And freely admitted it to Alicent.
Larys is like, guess what? I know how to kill your brother. Fire is a good way.
And then he made that whole speech, right, about like love is the downfall. He's really ready to continue to be a competent and capable advisor here.
I agree.
I really love this relationship.
Me too. I'm a big fan.
I'm excited to be back with them.
I'm genuinely pro Larys Strong. Okay.
Oh man.
Ormond Hightower, we get a shot of like just the torso, but his very fancy armor is easy to see, and plus the Valyrian steel sword vigilance is here. So he draws his family's Valyrian steel sword vigilance. The group of the Team Green, the Hightower men, throw their hands up together in what looks like victory, or since they're quite clean, maybe pre-battle jollity, while battle boyfriends TM, Gwaine and Kristen look on.
Yeah.
There's a red
They're
and white
not cheering.
What?
They're not cheering.
No, they don't look.
Yeah.
They're like, we've been to war. It sucks, you dummies. That's
Mr. Worse, I'm rational, and Mr. To die would be like kind of a relief, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, Kristen Cole's
don't you think?
Doom and gloom in this trailer is pretty great stuff. Okay. You did some sigil spotting for me because there's a red and white chevron breastplate here among the Hightower sigils.
House Ball?
You think it's House Ball. They're from the Reach.
It's the best I could do.
It made sense.
It's the best I can do.
Okay.
A Reach house with a red and white chevron sigil. Yeah.
A close-up of an axe being sharpened. I think this is probably Winter Wolves, but it could be anyone with an axe. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
This is what Matt Smith said at CCXP. Quote, We're going to take some green heads, man. We're going to cut them off and put them on spikes to cheers.
Incredible.
I think he said it at both panels. So
he understands the assignment. He gets it.
In this next section, we hear Aemon say, draw your sword.
Yeah.
It's Aemon One Eye. The eye patch is off.
Yeah.
The sapphire is glinting in his eye. He's in armor, and this is new.
Yeah.
We have one thing that Aemon has done to like sort of stunt on the world is he like doesn't wear armor.
Yeah.
He goes on Vagar's back and does not wear armor and goes into battle and
just
doesn't give a shit.
Leather.
His leathers.
Yeah.
But now he's got some armor, right? Because he's like, my Daemon look is not complete.
Yeah.
He still doesn't have the helm, but things to aspire to. I think he's at Harrenhal. Later, it's clear that he's at Harrenhal. We'll see Vagar land right next to Harrenhal and stuff like that.
And he declared at the end of the season that's where he was heading.
But there's all this like vegetal growth on the sort of walls, very like haunted fungus in the wall, Harrenhal shit. And we get a better shot of that later that makes it clear it's Harrenhal. We'll talk about this more in the spoiler section.
The kind of sooty charcoal stone.
Yeah.
The fact that he has that uncharacteristic armor on certainly indicates like he has flown into a location where he would anticipate a fight.
Kristen Cole, bloody or soot-faced, stabbing something very decisively, loves to stab.
And he is in armor here, which I note only because it of course makes sense that he would be in armor here. He's very notably not in armor
anywhere else.
Elsewhere in the trailer, including later when he is in a combat sequence. So, yeah.
Rhaenyra looking bitterly upset in front of a roaring pyre. I believe the second shot is the same fire, not a fake editing job, but it might be a fake editing job. But it's definitely a bed burning, but I couldn't tell which bed. It doesn't match her mom's bed, which Alicent later slept in, creepy, or Viserys's bed, which then became Aegon's bed. I was looking at the little like spindles or like whatever at the end. Like I was trying to match them. I couldn't figure out like whose bed this was. And then there's a banner.
Yeah.
And like you can blame the color balance on my monitor or whatever, but I was having like it looked blue and white to me. Obviously, it's a green gold dragon on a green background banner burning, but for some reason the color balance on my thing, I was like, is this a blue and white? I don't think it is. I think I was having a real like gold dress moment, but like but it's a green banner with a gold dragon burning.
Aegon's banner. Yeah.
Okay. So to me, it looks like Rhaenyra is like, I've come to the Red Keep.
Gonna burn a bunch of furniture.
I'm gonna burn a bunch of shit.
Very chill.
But it feels like it should be someone's specific's bed, but I don't know whose bed it would be. Kristen Cole's bed? I don't know.
Oh.
It's not the bed she fucked Kristen Cole in. I checked all the beds that I could think of, and I couldn't find it. So, speaking of the guy who fucked both queens, it's Kristen Cole. He says, look at the sky. Doom and ruin surround us. We will all become beasts before. And he's so depressed and I love it. I'm really into it.
Same. Kristen just completely broken by his experiences, what he has witnessed, but also his choices and what they have wrought in the world.
He and Alicent both are like, mistakes were made.
Yeah. What Aemond has done, who was his ally and friend by what the dragons have done and will do. I mean, the way that he talked about them.
Post Rook's Rest. The PTSD storyline of Kristen Cole post Rook's Rest. Good. It's really good.
We have given the war to the dragons. Yeah. The way he said that to Alicent, like what we must do now is terrible. Like the way that his voice was cracking when he said that. And then of course what he said to Gawain, oh man, he's in a dark place and I am
here for it.
I am really excited for the time we're going to spend with him this season. I have missed Kristen Cole in a way that I frankly never expected. It's really to the show's credit.
I agree. And it's also like Task was like a good time to spend with Fabian Frankel, etc. Okay. So Kristen Cole caked in mud.
Yes.
With his men in the Riverlands. They're sort of milling about with longbows. We see a lot of longbows in this trailer for a good reason. Sigils spotted.
Yes.
House Stokeworth. The white lamb on the green
We're just
background.
like, we can't get away from House Stokeworth.
It's a great sigil. It's a good sigil.
I think it must just, it's
a fun sigil.
It is wonderful. The terror of being in the open field. After what happened in season 2 with Bela and Moondancer, and then the real commitment to staying undercover
in
from
the tree line,
in the forest. So to right here to see this shot where the trees are behind them, they have emerged into the open, and to know that they know what peril that brings. It's a very effective little shot there.
The quote itself comes not from the mud-caked moment, but Kristen in his tent looking much more pristine. Who is he talking to? I would say probably his main man, Gawain Hightower.
I hope so.
I think he's mostly talking to Gawain Hightower this season would be my guess, which is why
Great news for us and for Chris.
Changed Gawain's storyline. Yes. He should be back at King's Landing, but they sent him on the road with Kristen, so Kristen would have someone to talk to. And I appreciate that. That's better television.
I quite agree.
Here's a quote from Fire and Blood, just about Kristen and his men in the Riverlands, right?
Yeah.
Without larger context.
Right.
As he drove his men south through the Riverlands, smoke rose up before him and behind him. Every village that he came to, he found burned and abandoned. His column moved through forests of dead trees where living woods had been just days before, as the river lords set blazes all along his line of march. In every brook and pool and village well, he found death, dead horses, dead cows, dead men, swollen and stinking, befouling the water. So Kristen Cole,
vivid,
my number one enemy, is having a bad time. And I love it when people I hate have a bad time. And I'm rooting for the enrichment of his soul and his remorse, you know?
Same.
Character on an arc. Love it.
Doom.
And a really interesting word from Holy Kristen Cole here.
I have no philosophy. This is what he said to Gawain in the finale last season. Or rather, my philosophy was this, and he lifts up his sword, to protect the righteous and dispense justice on the rest. But you saw what I saw. The dragons dance, and men are like dust under their feet, and all our fine thoughts, all our endeavors are as nothing. We march toward our annihilation.
Doom and annihilation.
This is the guy who, at Rook's Rest, got the troops to emerge and go enter the fight by appealing to their divine purpose. And now when he calls upon that righteousness, you know, we think of how he's talked about his cloak over the years. The only thing I had is my bloody name.
Yeah, it's all muddy now.
Dust under their feet.
He says, we will all become beasts, echoing Allison's earlier warning of you will do things that your heart would have recoiled from before you came to the throne.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Show me that dragon.
We'll all become beasts before our end.
Man, it's incredible.
Vagar. And then it's just Vagar's trailer for the rest
Pretty
of the trailer,
much.
honestly. Vagar and Harrenhal with Aemon on her back. A massive chunk of the crumbling castle falls down as Vagar comes in for a landing. A reminder that Vagar was alive when Harrenhal was melted the first time.
That's right.
But she didn't get to...
Old dragon.
She didn't get to do it.
And Balerion got to have all the fun.
Balerion got to do the whole thing.
The patriarchy is real.
And she's like, guess what? I'm going to break the glass ceiling. Women get to burn castles too. Here I am.
Women get to burn crumbling rubble ruins too. So we've seen, you know, Rhaenyra arrive on Syrax on Dragonback to Harrenhal and kind of like freak people out, you know, and then Adam and Seasmoke were up above, but like land and then a walk up. Daemon and Caraxes, and then Syrax went up and like perched and loomed. Daemon and Caraxes had their, you know, nighttime spooky rainy entrance, which like as you'll outline, there's some mirroring of here too. But this, it's so proximate to people. Like there's just say again an Aemon, like I'm not going to let you for a second forget how big and bad and strong I am aspect to this. Like there's a dude 2 feet in front of him. And Aemon has like never, I mean, they've always done a great job of giving us like a sense of Vagar's scale. Mm-hmm. That little glimpse of Aemon on the back, he has never looked like more of a speck against Vagar's half. This is just, it's a great, great, great shot.
Then we get the Winter Wolves, my guys, giving out a rousing war cry, banging drums.
I love
the North
it.
Fucking remembers, I'll tell you what.
Always.
Right now. Reminder that they are Team Black.
Yes.
Thanks to Jace.
That's right.
Jace did some diplomacy last season, remember?
The Craig and Stark bonding sequence. That was so fun.
That was
really
fun.
loved
That was 2 years ago.
Do you think my ancestors built a 700-foot wall of ice to keep out snow and savages? It's not how the accent goes at all.
But I liked your attempt.
Did my best.
I wouldn't put you in accent corner. I liked it. Okay. Gawain Hightower looking rough in the middle of a muddy, rainy battle.
This is, every now and then we like to take people behind the scenes. So you texted me a shot of Gawain looking beautiful and pampered and just in the bloom of his vitality. Yeah. And you were like, you know, like us right now, basically. And then this, it said, us this summer. When we will be covering 900 things at once. And I think that was right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. You know, this guy could be back in Old Town listening to the lute. But he's not.
He's playing the lute.
Yeah, he could be playing the lute. He and Darren could both be playing the lute.
His beautiful, like, strawberry red waves are just, like, caked in mud. He's just having a bad time. We see spears clattering on a Stark shield. Why do you think they added green to the Stark sigil?
So that there's been green in the Stark sigil on the show before. Like I think
on Thrones before or on Hot D before?
Thrones. I think
Okay.
like a place that you can definitely see it is when the banners unfurl at Battle of the Bastards.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
think like it's always been at the bottom. It's definitely not as visible as like on the shield here. I think
It's so funny. The vision I had in my mind was the banners unfurling at Battle of the Bastards, but
Yeah.
I didn't Google to make sure that they were.
I've always liked to think of it as like a little bit of a dream of spring.
Okay.
You know?
I
Amid
see
the
what you
winter
mean.
is
Yeah.
coming. Proclamation.
Oh. House Stark before 303, House Stark after 303. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Something to think about. hobbitsanddragons@gmail.com. Rhaenyra looking relatively composed and clean, striding with purpose towards the camera.
Yeah.
Interesting that in this section, which focuses on dragons and the winter wolves beating the drums and the mud and the rain and the grime and the muck and the blood, and I mentioned blood, but let's mention it again. Backed by that we will all become beasts before our end line. Rhaenyra looks so clean.
Yeah.
Perhaps her beastly transformation will be more internal.
I mean, I love this. To quote our guy Laris, granted, he was just talking about why it might be, you know, something to think about, like maybe we shouldn't starve the small folk. But you could apply it to the state of the soul as well. The enemy without may be fought with swords. The enemy within is more insidious. Something that every character in the show should be thinking of. Rhaenyra looks so assured. Like the strength of her conviction as she
Striding
is on
with
the
purpose.
yeah, is striding. Yeah, she is striding.
She's walking down a tunnel that fine folks on Twitter let me know is the same tunnel that in season 1, episode 1, like right at the beginning, right after Rhaenyra gets off the dragon, when she and Alicent come into the castle, it's like the same hallway of baby Alicent and baby Rhaenyra sort of like skipping girlishly down the hall. And then here's Queen Rhaenyra striding down the same sort of tunnel.
Damn.
Love
Love it.
All right. Speaking of Alicent,
Yes.
she says, "It is no longer safe here." Ominous shot of the empty throws, still Team Green banners behind
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
And then we have Alicent and poor Helena, who, to my eyes, look captured and desperate, looking up at the throne. Who could be sitting there? I don't know.
This was the cloak I was referencing earlier when I was like, is that the finale cloak? Like, is there a chance that she has just kind of snuck back in? But it's not. It's different. That had like much more kind of
Fleur-de-lis sort of thing on it. Yeah.
Exactly. So this
Yeah.
is definitely different fit. You know, obviously Helena's there, as you noted. It's also a gold cloak right there. So the City Watch is in the mix here.
More in the spoiler section. Aemon walking into Harrenhal with a bloodied black fire. The sword is no longer a walking stick. It is a weapon now.
This
Cautious
is
and
great.
slow. Very similar, though less rainy and less helmed to Daemon's entrance into Harrenhal last season.
I love
He's
this.
got the sword drawn. It's bloodied.
Yeah.
And in the other hand, drawn and readied, is the cat's paw dagger. We saw him pick up the cat's paw dagger at Rook's Rest. So we knew he had it.
Yep.
But it looks like he's about to like use it. And like,
yep.
Have we seen anyone? I mean, all right, honestly, but have we seen anyone among other people in House of the Dragon use the dagger for anything other than shoving it in a brazier and being like, "Look, words."
Right. So it cuts Rhaenyra, I guess, on the
Oh, yeah,
arm,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
and I guess this gives a similar, in a very different way, but kind of like that similar element that we talked about at the time in that scene, the eye for an eye scene, with like, man, you've got this dagger of prophecy, and who knows who carries that with them and who doesn't, and what does that mean? And the fact that, like, you know, part of the thing that finally softened Aegon, and of course Otto then got to just like mercilessly like roast him, like, you think he changed his mind, you dipshit, he never did, in season 2. But at the end of season 1, it was like presenting that dagger that finally, like, Aegon, who was like, he hated me. So, wait, maybe this is real, but never knew the truth behind it the way that Rhaenyra does, the way that, you know, Rhaenyra had tried to tell Daemon in a very upsetting and harrowing scene. Now Daemon's had his visions and has come into this clarity. Aemon picked that up after roasting his brother and his dragon in the air. He has no idea the meaning and significance
He's like, well,
that it carries. He's just like strength.
He's like, well, it looks sick, and it was my dad's.
It does.
And I
look
should have
sick,
it.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it does look sick. The blood on the sword, it's upsetting.
More in the spoiler section. All right,
Yeah.
Hightower men draw their longbows, aiming up.
Yeah.
But they're always aiming up with the long bows, right? Because they always go like, choo. That's how you
right.
shoot arrows.
Let's get that again.
Choo. From like a rampart. You want to go, choo. You're not going, bang.
Do you think you'd be good with a bow and arrow?
No, I've tried.
Really?
It requires
just an incredible amount of strength.
a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Maybe if I keep like lifting, I will get to, but I've always kind of wanted to take up archery. Is it
Love
time?
knowing this about you.
Okay.
It might be. Well, crossbow?
No.
Takes too long to load.
Stupid weapon.
Tough
All right.
one. Tough
Vagar
one.
having her fire away with Harrenhal. Show me that dragon. There she is. Carlos is like, are you sure you want that clip? It's so short. Actually, I think it's the last one that's so short. I'm like, yeah, I do. I want all the clips of Vagar. Thank you so much. The next section is just shrill ringing.
I mean, from the Cackling Witches podcast,
Shrill ringing.
great news. Shrill ringing.
Cottagecore murder cloaks and shrill ringing at gmail.com. All right.
We're living. We're
Close
living.
up on Damon looking battle bloody. Same blood pattern and look as before, but instead of smiling, he looks very concerned to me. Right?
He definitely looks concerned here. I feel like the blood is more like lines here, and it was like a V before. Maybe
Okay.
he's just coated in blood in a different way.
Different blood, different
There's going to
day.
be a lot of blood.
Another
a lot
day.
of fire and a lot of blood.
Another day, another blood spatter for Daemon Targaryen. All right. Someone, maybe Daemon, picks up his sword from the dirt.
Okay, let's see.
You don't think that's Dark Sister?
I don't think that's
Someone
Dark Sister.
who's not Daemon picks up a sword that is not Dark Sister
Dark
from
Sister
some like
has
tan bark.
the hilt has the egg, which you couldn't see the
Yeah.
pommel, but then the like dragon wing,
The wings.
And I thought, yeah, so this is
Someone who's
another
not
sword.
Daemon picks up a sword that is not Dark Sister
That could definitely
from the
happen.
dirt. Okay.
Yeah.
Daemon, helmet on,
Yeah.
in the Red Keep, fighting a bunch of Hightower men.
What do the kids say? I'm seated. I'm sat.
Do a Rizza.
I'm
A
sat.
Riz God.
Cinema.
That's exactly what I wanted you to do.
Cinema. I'm like, let's go.
It looks so good. 2-on-1. It looks amazing.
Dude,
I'm really
and just
excited.
like a dead guy in the corner of the
Yeah.
shot. It's
What's a
great
dead guy?
stuff.
Rhaenyra crying her heart out in front of what looks to me
Mhm.
like a rotted skull.
Yeah, there's still some flesh on it. Someone call Dr. Ian Kelson. Let's get the 28 years later Bone Temple Hive in here. You gotta get the flesh off the skull.
Well, she doesn't need his whole process. She just tosses it in the fireplace,
know.
allegedly. All right.
Yeah.
We see Alan
Yes.
flashing and fighting. Looks like Triarchy folks to me.
Yeah.
Some fancy hats, some fur trims.
Sharknado Hive Rise.
Must be the Triarchy.
Shirako Lohar. Shirako Lohar. It's not actually a Sharknado. Okay, got it.
Crushed it.
Got it.
Cut to a mud cake. Kristen also fighting. This is
Oh,
the screaming
man.
section. Everyone's screaming.
Yeah, boy.
Cut to Helena screaming.
This is where Kristen, that's that shot of Kristen fighting. Like he is in battle, no
Yeah.
armor on. So,
A lot of mud.
yeah.
Helena screaming in what appears to be childbirth. And as I mentioned before, the Queen Emma line from season 1, episode 1, the childbed is our battlefield. It would not be a season of House of the Dragon if a woman doesn't have a traumatic childbirth. We have some questions about this, which we'll discuss more in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
But while we're here,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely Helena. The actress posted
For
to her
sure.
Instagram. That's
Yeah.
definitely Helena.
definitely.
That definitely looks like childbirth to me.
It does.
Someone on Twitter was like, they got the old childbirth wig out and they slapped it on Helena, the sweat-soaked
sweaty
blonde wig,
wig.
right? Should we speculate
Sure.
needlessly, Jerry Springer style?
Yeah, I think
Who's the father?
Yeah, because I think there's stuff we can definitely say here. I think the spoiler section stuff is like George, the thread that he plays out of why like a certain choice to not give. We talked about last season that Aegon and Helena had another kid in the book who has not been in the show. I think that's okay to say.
Condell decided to cut it,
Yes.
cut that kid from the blood and cheese sequence,
Right. Which
cut its
really changed
existence.
it. Yeah.
which ticked George off.
Yes, we'll talk in the spoiler section because
What
George
George
plays
said.
out the butterfly effect of that, all of which we will save for the
Mhm.
spoiler section. I think it's okay to say here though that like, okay, two things. One, I was thinking of you because I watched this and I was like, well, is this real? And if so, who's the father? We'll talk about that in a second. But I was like, is this a dream or a vision? Because it's
don't think it is.
Helena. There's a spoiler thing that we could talk about that but with a throne show, we always want to ask, is it a dream? Is it a puppet?
What if it's a puppet? What if
Never
it's a
know.
Helena puppet?
You never know.
Giving Helena birth.
That's a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms joke, folks.
Okay, I mean, I understand where you're going with your what else it could be in terms of vision-wise, and we can talk about that when we get there.
With Helena, it's like,
if this is Aegon's kid,
you never know.
Let's just make it clear.
Yeah.
Helena was not really showing at the end of last season. And we don't imagine that much time has passed.
Right.
So, but if this is Aegon's kiddo, it would have had to have happened before Brooke's rest, where his cock, quote, burst in the flames like a sausage on a spit.
Exploded. Yeah.
So was she pregnant before Brooke's rest? Was she even pregnant during Blood and Cheese, possibly?
Right.
Or is this Aemon's kid? Again, the timing doesn't really...
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about it. We don't see her from, like, really the sort of torso, like, chest down in the other shots of her in this trailer.
Yeah.
It could be a vision. I just, like, don't want to fall into a trap of, like, that's a vision. But also don't want to fall in the trap of analyzing something that winds up just being a vision at the end of the day.
With I think because House of the Dragon trailers have often featured these kind of like hallucinatory or vision sequences, but mostly honestly just because it's Helena, a character we know, sees things.
But we've not seen her visions.
We've not. We've seen her enter somebody else's vision. That was weird. Remember that when she was just like
really
standing there, and that was wild. So yes, this would be different for sure. If George got pissed and then they were like, all right, we'll give Helena a kid.
No, I think they would have already had decided to do it. And we'll talk about what George said. But like,
he have like known that and not written that post?
He's
so strange.
He said that's what they said they were going to do.
That's true. He did it. He mentioned that possibility. He did. Yeah.
Okay.
He did. I think on the is it Aemon's kid front. So like we talked a lot in season 1 about how, you know, when Aegon was being a dick, Aemon was like, she's your future queen. And he was always the one who was like,
he's hot for Helena.
Has always, yes. And like there are a lot of shippers out there. For me, that ended with the way that their scenes went in the season 2 finale. Like,
I mean, I would have said as much, but like Targaryens are a savage race and they do all kinds of things. I don't know.
It's true.
But I'm here with you.
Yeah.
We get Ormond screaming while fighting indoors. Talk about savage.
Yeah, and he's not, again, like not
the fancy armors.
In armor
not there.
Here, so.
And then we get Vhagar screaming, spewing fire. For the last time in this podcast, show me that dragon. Great.
It's incredible.
At long last, a lot of people have talked to her and kind of about her, but this is the first we hear from her.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra finally in this trailer says there will be no doubt who the gods have chosen to rule.
Yes.
A bookend to Ormond's assertion, we act with a holy purpose to restore a rightful king. So as you mentioned earlier, everyone thinks they have the gods on their side.
Dangerous.
Rhaenyra holding her father's crown with remorse, hesitancy, something like that.
The window behind her, we can place exactly the room that she is in.
You want to say it into the microphone?
If you don't want to hear it, though, I think we've placed people in many locations throughout the trailer podcast at this point, but hit fast forward once. That, I think, this is Viserys' room.
I agree.
Because that's the window behind his Lego set. That's the window you always saw in
and
the
you're like, you know
model
what you can never fool me about? A Lego
always
set.
remember the Lego. So, and then I was thinking back to the furniture burning. Like, yeah, if she's kind of moved
but it's
in.
Not
but it's not
his bed.
Yeah. I guess they had to like move stuff out too because Aegon was convalescing.
But he was convalescing in the same bed. I looked at it.
Yeah, because he had gotten rid of like the books and stuff.
It was the same headboard
Yeah.
on both of those. And it's kind of fun. I don't think we noted it at the time, but I was looking at them and I was like, oh, they matched the shot of like Viserys moldering flesh and Aegon all melty post-Rook's rest in the same bed.
My rum.
All right. Then the sigil dissolves into smoke. House of the Dragon, June 21st.
Here we
go, baby. Anything else you want to say before we go into the spoiler section?
I don't think so.
Great time with you if you were only here for the spoiler-free section. Let's go now to book spoilers.
Very menacing.
It's very like Gimli blowing the horn of
it is.
Hama.
It really is. I like it.
And then there's like that warning siren. Anyway, if you didn't hear it, if you didn't watch and see like this beautiful graphic that Carlos put together, get out of here. Be gone.
Be gone, witch.
All right. I'm starting with this. We're mostly going to go in order, but I'm starting out of order to say still no Darren, no Hotto Hightower, no Roddy the Ruin, no Alice Rivers, no Sea Smoke, no Dragon Seeds whatsoever, except possibly teeny tiny Rhaena and Sheepstealer, but I don't think she was on there. So just sort of like Sheepstealer.
Does the absence of
the Dragon Seeds,
Hugh and Ulf change anything about how, not that we were like 100% locked in on this is going to be the flow of events in the season, but I think we talked a lot last trailer about like, will the finale be first Tumbleton?
I think so.
I still think so too. This was like 2 trailers in, they're not here.
Well,
maybe they're finishing the effects.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
well,
to your earlier point, last trailer, you're like, I think the taking of King's Landing happens pretty early. And I was like, what if it's later? That theory's out the window, given how much taking of King's Landing is in Rhaenyra takes King's Landing with Daemon's help. We see him fighting the High Towers. We see her in the Red Keep a bunch. That's got to happen early. I say a lot of this footage is probably from early in the season. Yeah. And so I think you're absolutely right. The taking of King's Landing, we're going to get Gullet.
Yeah.
Fish feed.
And then Daemon's got to get back from Fish feed, which it seems like he'll be a part of. So I think King's Landing's episode maybe 3. 4 at the latest.
3 or 4 sounds right. Yeah, he comes back. Not only does he go to King's Landing, he's at Dragonstone.
Yeah, right.
Because we see them walking out of Dragonstone with purpose. So he comes back to Dragonstone. They go to King's Landing. Then I guess he goes back, to, or like he's part of Tumbleton. I don't know. But like the Butcher's, I'm like Team Butcher's Ball is happening.
I think so.
Because I think we want Kristen around for as much as the season as possible. So like Butcher's Ball. And I think first Tumbleton is the end of the season.
Yeah. I really like Gullet 1, Fish Feed 2, regroup, head out for King's Landing, taking of King's Landing episode 4. Obviously, Aemond is then at Harrenhal. So he's like, boy, I fucked up. Daemon's not here. He took my throne.
This hot witch.
Look at this hot witch. Let me go burn a bunch of things because I'm angry and don't know how to channel that. Fish Feed has happened. So we get our like bloated corpse, like tableau stretch. Kristen taken unawares, not in armor. Butcher's Ball. Penultimate episode. Kristen Butcher's Ball death in the penultimate episode, I think would be like fantastic.
Right.
And then Tumbleton as the finale.
Right. And Team Block is like Rhaenyra, Ascendant. Rhaenyra Ascendant, and then the first Tumbleton happens.
Exactly. What a great note, because we get this like...
Oh, Honeywine. Honeywine has to be at the beginning.
So do you think we're going to get Honeywine, or are they just going to be
because
like,
of Tessarion
Honeywine happened?
Yeah, maybe.
And like, Darren, I'm going to knight you, and now you're Darren.
It might be more like Burning Mill sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of alluded to, and we get like the carnage. It would be great to see Honeywine. That would be really fun. And then like, that's so much, but it still leaves God's Eye, Helena, the Shepherd, the Storming of the Pit, second Tumbleton, Aegon versus Rhaenyra, all that for season 4. I think they almost have to get to first Tumbleton this season.
I agree, and I think season 4 ends with Rhaenyra's death, and that's where we end the show. I don't think we're going beyond Rhaenyra. I think once Rhaenyra's dead, this story is over.
Yeah. At most, they could do 1 episode. At most.
All right. As we mentioned, at the 45, 46 second mark, we think it's a possibly hilarious hidden shot of Darren.
It's just amazing.
Just really great. Brasso is bold John Roxton, a real season 4 player.
Oh God.
Like he's going to be here in season 3, but he's really going to be here in season 4.
My condolences for what? You died in battle? Iconic shit. I can't wait.
Gail Rankin, Alice Rivers herself, is not in this trailer, but she posted a shot from this trailer of Aemond in Harrenhal, and she posted the sort of lip-biting emoji on her Instagram.
Incredible.
Iconic shit, Gail.
It's great. Really good.
All right. At the 17-second mark,
yes,
our children will rule forever and a day, and then we get that shot of Jace.
Very tough.
Jace is dying, episode 1.
I'm really happy that Gullet is the premiere. I think it's important. You got to bring people back right away. I wish we got 2 episodes of Jace instead of 1.
He'll have a lot to do. He'll just be like really fighting with his mom for most of that episode. And it's possible that Gullet begins at the end of episode 1 and then
carries into 2.
Concludes at the beginning of episode 2.
That would be great.
But probably not. Probably it's all in episode 1. Okay. 28-second mark. Rhaenyra walking out of Dragonstone with Daemon behind her. She's wearing a sword. She's wearing Jace's sword.
Brutal.
She is, and there's this whole passage in the book where it's like, that like Luke's death destroyed her, but Jace's death hardened her.
Yes.
And that she puts on her armor and she goes and she takes King's Landing. So strapping on his sword, her dead son's sword.
Yeah.
Hot. Okay.
Do you think, because we did have the...
Sad and hot. House of the Dragon.
Put it on the posters. We had the Lady Jane, Rhaena, veil stretch, like, gay abandon. I'll send 6 of my best men. It's like, well, that doesn't really seem like enough. And guess what? It's not going to be. Are we going to do, Stormcloud, those boys are like too young.
We've sent witness protection with you in Daredevil.
It's exactly like that. we talked a lot already across the 2 seasons of coverage about like the way that they've aged down Aegon and Viserys. So like Aegon can't fly Stormcloud. Like that can't happen.
That's not happening.
But is Viserys still going to be taken captive? Stormcloud killed? Aegon makes his way back broken? Or does all of the Dragonbane stuff just come from him witnessing?
But does the Dragonbane stuff like really even happen?
I mean, I guess it's enough to see what he sees with Aegon and Rhaenyra, I guess. But sweet little Stormcloud. I don't know, those boys are just so small. Like, none of those things can happen.
I agree.
I don't totally know why they did that. Gotta say.
33-second mark. Rhaenyra trailing bloody footprints from the throne or to the throne. So the flagstones look a little wet to me to read. I mean, it's definitely Rhaenyra. That's definitely who it is.
No question.
I was trying to be coy earlier when Mallory's like, that's Team Black and a Lady's Gate. But I was just sort of like, whatever.
It's okay.
It is fine.
Like,
no, you didn't do anything wrong. I was just sort of like, anyway, flagstones look a little wet to read throne room to me, but
yeah.
And the way the blood is tracking, it really looks more like someone who has walked through blood rather than someone who's like dripping blood down their arms and legs. And it's like manifesting that way as footprints. But either way, Rhaenyra leaving a bloody trail through King's Landing is a tradition for her.
I like the idea that, like, you know, the cuts on her hands, on her arms, on her legs, that she's sitting there on the throne finally at last, and the blood is like pooling by her feet.
I kind of like it, but and then she walks out of that puddle. That's a lot of fucking blood. Some eagle-eyed folks on the internet have like sort of freeze framed that moment, and it looks like in the upper right, so the direction she's walking towards, it looks like there's some melty sword stuff. So it really looks like she's walking towards
through the battle,
the throne. So like through whatever, through the people that Daemon has killed.
Yeah.
You know, her dainty little foot trod in some blood.
Bloody path to the throne would be very apt and fitting. However, I do actually worry that it would slightly mute the effect of like she stands up.
So here's the quote from Fire and Blood, right?
Yeah.
Septon Eustace tells us that the ceremony went on, this is her coronation, went on all through that night. It was well past dawn when Rhaenyra Targaryen rose and made her descent. Quote, and as her lord husband, Prince Daemon, escorted her from the hall, cuts were seen upon her grace's legs and the palm of her left hand, end quote, wrote Eustace, quote, drops of blood fell to the floor as she went past, and wise men looked at one another, although none dared speak the truth aloud. The Iron Throne had spurned her, and her days upon it would be few, end quote. So, like, I think there's a way in which you see her actively get cut, like Viserys.
Like Viserys, yeah.
Like, make it much more like Viserys, so it's less like she's dripping blood walking away from the throne and more just sort of like...
Yeah.
The self-same cut.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
it's kind of like a doom. Rhaenyra's always, like, cloaked in clothing, you know? So, and she wears black...
Yeah.
So, like, they're not going to be able to see the blood unless it's on her hands or, like, pooling around
but she's
her.
Like,
and then she's
like, if she cuts her hand, she's like, fuck, you know?
Yeah. Break the maggots back out.
This is a quote from A Song of Ice and Fire. That himbo with a hammer himself, Robert Baratheon, said, some say the Iron Throne had spurned her. Nonsense. It's a chair made of steel blades. Rhaenyra had wanted it all her life and sacrificed 2?
Let's update that math, Bobby.
Sons for it. She likely gripped the damn thing too hard.
Tell that to Maegor the Cruel, you know?
Maegor with teats. All right, 55-second mark. Right. With that, draw your sword. Aemon murders my beloved Simon Strong at Harrenhal. Is that Simon Strong's blood all over Blackfire later?
Definitely.
Here's the passage. Quote, Daemon and his, quote, river scum had fled rather than face his wrath, his being Aemon. Aemon proclaimed, small wonder then that when word of the fall of King's Landing reached him, the prince felt thrice the fool. His fury was fearsome to behold. First to suffer for it was Sir Simon Strong.
Sad.
Prince Aemon had no love for any of that ilk, and the haste with which the Castellan had yielded Harrenhal to Daemon Targaryen convinced him the old man was a traitor. Ellipses. Aemon commanded that Sir Simon be given a sword. Quote, let the gods decide if you speak truly, he said. If you are innocent, the warrior will give you the strength to defeat me. The duel that followed was utterly one-sided. All the accounts agree. The prince cut the old man to pieces, then fed his corpse to Vhagar.
Brutal.
Nor did Sir Simon's grandsons long outlive him. One by one, every man and boy with strong blood in his veins was dragged forth and put to death until the heap made of their heads stood 3 feet tall. So we're going to watch him. So it's not just that he kills Sir Simon. He makes Sir Simon, so that draw your sword.
Yeah.
Makes Sir Simon take out what is a ceremonial sword
It's pathetic. Yeah.
and fight. What a fucking
terrible.
tiny dick Aemon has in that
Exactly.
moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
We're going to mourn Simon. We're going to mourn him.
I'm going to have to change my Slack profile photo.
Or should you keep it forever?
No,
to
because it
honor
was
him?
Lyman Beesbury and then it was Sir Simon Strong. And I think once they fall, I need
I
to find a
see.
new old man to put from House of the Dragon to put in there.
Roddy the Ruin?
Roddy the Ruin might be it.
I think so.
I'd love that for me. Okay. At the minute and 2 second mark, Kristen and his men looking a little lost and ragged. I'm calling this Butcher's Ball.
Yeah.
Here's the quote from Fire and Blood. When Sir Kristen left the lake behind, striking out overland for the Blackwater, he found them waiting atop a stony ridge. 300, probably not that many, mounted knights in armor, as many longbowmen, 3,000 archers, 3,000 ragged rivermen with spears, hundreds of Northmen brandishing axes, mauls, spiked maces, and ancient iron swords. Above their heads flew, Queen Rhaenyra's banners. Who are they, Esquire? I hope Gwaine. Who are they, Esquire asked when the foe appeared, for they showed no arms but the queen's. Ah, death, answered to Kristen Cole, for those foes were fresh, better fed, better horsed, better armed, and they held the high ground. It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground. Whilst his own men were stumbling, sick, and dispirited. So,
I can't wait for this.
Crispy Cole, unarmored,
Yep.
muddy or not,
Mm-hmm.
looking like shit. Everyone looks tired, footsore, and then here comes some fresh troops with the black and the red banner.
In the running, we've quoted it before, we'll quote it again, for best,
Sickest line.
sickest lines in Fire and Blood. I'll have no songs about how brave you died, Kingmaker, declared Longleaf. There's tens of thousands dead on your account. He was speaking to a corpse.
It's great.
It's
really good.
Unbelievable.
Do you think all the shots of Bowman in this trailer are to like prepare us for the taking down of the Ravens? Do you think that's going to happen? It's a really cool moment.
But yeah, that would be great. I hope so. Yeah, a little
For the
throwback
fish
to
feed.
early Thrones, too.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
All right, minute 10 second, the Winter Wolves. Here's something I really need in a trailer before the season starts.
I agree.
This better be when we see Tommy Flanagan in a trailer. When the Winter Wolves show up, right? They call themselves the Winter Wolves. We've come to die for the Dragon Queen, Lord Roderick announced. This is a line like concocted
good.
in a lab to be in a trailer. We've come to die for the Dragon Queen. Put it in a trailer, you cowards, with the Stark banners flying behind them.
I
fuck on.
I quite agree. This next stretch, 115. So this was just the shot with the gold cloak behind Alicent. Is this Luther Largent? Do we think this is that stretch of just the
Yeah, they've been captured. They've been caught trying to escape.
Damon's loyalists have come in and
yes, 100%, 100p.
they're gold anyway you turn them. And Damon gave them to us, and they're gold anyway you turn them. Great
It's a
stuff.
sick line.
It really
It's a
is.
sick line. On this rotted skull, so a minute 23, we get the skull in the fireplace, as you mentioned, and then a rotted skull. I went through a whole journey about this,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you didn't see me writing these notes because I had an insane theory that I finally talked myself out of.
Wait,
but
now I want to know what it is.
I was like, did they never get rid of Viserys' body, and that's just his rotted skull? They never burned him.
Wow.
And she like burns him sad. She's like, they didn't give, but I was like, why would they let a rotting corpse just hang out in the red keep somewhere? That doesn't make, I mean, they did for a couple
for
days.
a while. Yeah. He stunk.
Anyway, I got over that.
I love it.
Here are some options.
Yeah.
Jace's head fished out of the gullet.
Mm-hmm.
In the book, his body is never found and he's lost at sea. Hashtag Jace lives.
Hashtag Luke lives.
Kristen Cole, if he dies in the fish feed rather than the butcher's ball, or if they combine the two, because there's just a lot of mud on Kristen and Gawain. And here's a quote from Fire and Blood. The feasters were men who had fallen in the fish feed, skulls grinning under rusted helms as their green and rotted flesh sloughed off their bones.
Mhm.
Tough.
Yeah.
Hotto Hightower. That's my third option.
I
there.
feel like this has to be Jace because Rhaenyra looks so distraught.
I think it has to be Jace.
She's just so overcome here. If
I
this were Otto, she'd be like fucking pissing
Be
on
like,
it.
great. Kristen, she's like, fuck you. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it has to be Jace. It's just, I don't know. It's an adoptive choice to be like, we found his head, like his head only.
Yeah.
Is his head delivered back to her by the Triarchy, by Jason Lannister, by the other Lannister.
Yeah.
in Thailand.
Can't wait to see Jason Lannister die. That'll be fun. all of his lions, and he's like, oh, well, we're just going to hang out at the Golden Tooth and wait. And then he's just going to fucking get got right away.
Right.
It's going to be great.
Away.
I think that there are like some characters where they've said, you thought this person was dead. We're actually going to open that up. Laenor, for example.
But then close it back up.
I still have questions about all of it with Sea Smoke. We didn't get like Luke's body, but just like giving us like a piece of Arax's wing and like Luke's cloak and stuff like this. Like, I think they seem to want to close some of those doors.
Okay. So they're like Jace lives truthers.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like they're doing that in certain cases so that when we get to do that with Daemon, we really get to do that with Daemon.
Oh, they never find his rotted head.
Yeah. If
Or
you've
a
done that with
wing.
everyone else, it's
Oh,
not
fine.
as interesting.
Hashtag Daemon lives. And he gets to be a good dad to Rhaena, who is now Nettles, I guess. Okay. Jacoby, that one's for you. All right. Minute 26.
Oh, man.
Helena giving birth. Okay. Is this Malor?
Yeah.
Is this a vision that Alice sends to Aemond at Harrenhal? Is this one of his dreams at Harrenhal? His werewood pace dream?
Ooh.
My hot sister who I'd like to fuck. What if she had my baby and that baby were on the throne?
I like that.
I don't, I don't dislike it. Here's the quote from George R. R. Martin, since deleted, ill-advised, I guess, blog about the butterfly effect, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he was venting his spleen about many things, including Malor being written out of the show thus far. He said, quote, moreover, God, I really wish I used words like moreover in blog posts. Moreover, and then wrote about like football teams. Moreover, Ryan assured me that we were not losing Prince Malor, simply postponing him. Queen Helena could still give birth to him in season 3, presumably after getting with child late in season 2. Malor by himself means little. He's a small child, does not have a line of dialogue, does nothing of consequence but die.
Brutal.
But where and when and how, that does matter. Losing Malor weakened the end of the blood and cheese sequence. I agree.
Definitely.
But it also cost us the bitter bridge scene with all its horror and heroism.
Yeah.
It undercut the motivation for Helena's suicide, and that in turn sent thousands into the streets and alleys screaming for justice for their murdered queen. None of that is essential, I suppose, but all of it does serve a purpose. It all helps to tie the storylines together so one thing follows another in a logical and convincing manner.
Yeah.
I think Helena has plenty of things
to
fling herself out of a window for, not the least of which is being
yeah.
burdened by these terrible visions and all these other things.
Yeah.
So I actually don't think you need Malor for that.
Yeah. Well, especially because like part of it was the choice in Blood and Cheese. Like that's different now, even if Malor comes into the picture.
Right.
So
is Alicent trying to get Helena out of the castle more urgently because Helena is pregnant?
Yeah.
And then, Rhaenyra takes the castle and Alicent and Helena in that captivity.
Yeah.
Which is very like much more golden handcuffs than even it says in the books.
Yeah.
If Alicent is just let to like roam free around the castle and
like,
advise
go for
Rhaenyra.
chats.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I feel like, can they do that? Don't they even have like a fiction to maintain? I don't know. I guess Rhaenyra did tell all of her advisors, like we saw in the first trailer, like, Alicent and I made this pact.
But yeah, my only like vision thing that I am willing to sort of like lean towards with Helena is that this is an Aemond vision sent to him by
I
Alice.
like that. That's an interesting idea. Because the thing I was wondering about on the vision front was like, because there's that stuff, and it is one of the things in Fire Blood where it's like presented and immediately kind of discounted, but the like, they want to tear down the bastards, like let's put bastards in their bellies, kind of horrible stretch of plotting and scheming about how Alicent and Helena are both going to be like tormented.
Showing Aemond Helena dying in childbirth.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a season of Hot Tea without a woman dying in childbirth.
For sure.
Or like having a horrible time in childbirth. At least.
Yeah. I guess like, I don't know. I thought it was really weird to not put Malor in the show. Doing it now
feels even weirder.
Feels weirder to me in a way.
Just
and
the
like
timing is tough.
The timing is tough. And also it's like part of what, I mean, there's the horror of what happens at Bitterbridge, like this tiny kid being killed, his egg, all of it, Rickard. It's also just like, it is actually different that Aegon has a male heir still in the book, until he doesn't. it really changes things in terms of how Aemond is confidently positioning himself.
Mhm.
Like, he kind of can't do that. He can still be like, I'm regent, that's a baby.
Or protector, yeah.
But it would all be different. So to kind of do that now after these events have been set this deep into motion really is, I don't know, strange. Also, like, with Helena's suicide, I mean, we don't know. I get, frankly, George putting it this way is the closest thing to confirmation, because it's like, was she killed? Was it suicide? Like, it's one of the things that's
still like
open for debate.
The she was pushed theory, honestly.
Yeah. So then George saying this is like, oh, well, but that doesn't mean the show is going to do that, honestly. And then, like, when Aemond was trying to compel Helena to fly with him to get on Dreamfire, she's like, I don't want to do this. One of the things that Allison said was like, you know, you're going to put until her mind is broken. Like, it's sort of been interesting for me to consider, what if like the push toward a violent pursuit that she has no interest in is part of what makes her crack. So I don't know. They've decided not to put Mallory in. I don't know that we need it now. So I really like that idea that you're presenting, that could be an Aemond vision. That's really interesting. Let me ask you this though. Not even specific to that possibility. In general, we were really here for the Daemon Harrenhal stuff. We loved it. We love Alice. That was not the mass response. Now, Aemond has a lot of other stuff to do. He's going to go like burn a bunch of Riverland shit constantly.
I feel like if they do it but do less,
Yeah.
people will have less of an issue with it.
Because do you think they're going to feel
Plus,
like they have
he
to
and Alice will be like
recalibrate?
fucking.
They will. Yeah. Got to get that baby in the belly,
So there's that on top of it.
which is nice. Literally on top of it. Yeah.
Right, which Damon just like fucked his mom and is in a dream. So maybe they could just
Super weird.
zhuzh it up
Super
with some
weird.
sexual content
And then everyone will be thrilled.
rather than
No,
like
it's-
her being like, I'm an owl, whatever. I
Will-
loved that. I loved
That was
everything
great.
about
Barn
Alice.
Owl, that was great. Will Sir Simon offer Aemond some venison and red currant, the red currant update on what's in the stores before he's killed, or no? Like, will he try to
There's
will
no
him with
time.
some?
There's no time.
It's just going to be cut down right away.
Right away.
Damn. Sad. Sad.
All right. Anything else you want to say?
Just excited for the season.
Me too.
I don't know that we need too many more trailers. Let me throw that out there. I love a trailer. I love to see what we can. I like to break them down.
I need to hear Roddy the Ruin say,
That's
we've
true.
come to die for the Dragon Queen.
That's true. You're right. They've shown us not everything, but a lot. I don't want them to show us too much.
Give me Tommy Flanagan.
Give me
Please.
Roddy.
Give
me
Roddy
Roddy.
the
And
Ruin.
show us Darren. You know what? Drop another trailer.
What's Alice doing? What's
know.
Black Alley doing?
Yeah.
Exciting.
Like, exciting questions.
I got some things to see.
Are we going to meet
But
Bloody
maybe just
Ben?
like one more.
Do you think Oscar Tully is just subbing in?
Yeah,
for
I think
Bloody
Oscar
Ben?
Tully is definitely subbing for Bloody Ben.
I mean, I'm a big Oscar Tully fan, but I like Ben Jacott.
You just like Ben Jacott as a name. It's
Ben-
a
getting to say
You just
Ben
want to say
Jacott.
to Chris Ryan. You just want to make
Yeah.
Chris Ryan confront the fact that a character is named Ben Jacott.
You're right. I do. And now I can't.
Talk of Thrones every Sunday this summer for the rest of our lives. Deep dives on Tuesday. Thank you to Team Red and Green, our team.
That's right.
Carlos Chiriboga.
Always.
Jacob Cornett is here.
Always.
Scott Lee's here.
Always.
Arjuna Ramgopowell's
Always.
somewhere around here. Hopefully getting some lunch. He hadn't eaten when last I saw him. Jomi and Adeniran.
Yes.
Anyone
The crew.
else? Everyone. Here at Sycamore.
Daemon Targaryen.
Y'all
you
are the
know?
best.
We always like to thank Daemon if we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, my darling. I love to be in Westeros together. It's exciting.
I'll miss you in the next episode.
I know. I'm sad. Text me if Dex does something hot tonight. I assume he will.
He will.
Yeah. So I await your owl.
It's just like exhales.
Well, I mean, hopefully.
And we'll see you soon. Bye.